does. You're live. Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
now if we go on YouTube, you should see.
We got the library.
Yeah, no, everybody thinks it's a library, but it's actually like I just had a really, really good setup for a bookshelf. But I think it's like that intellectual shit. Makes you seem smart. I like it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's hella books you got.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is like 4 generations of books right here. I got stuff from handed down to my grandparents. I got the stuff that I used to read as a kid, like down here. And then this is my mom's, my dad's, like everything is in here if you wouldn't find it. Probably hella expensive. So, bro, moving this from the Czech Republic to Finland, it took like a week to just restock this shit, because my mom wants it in a specific order. So,
So where you at? You said you're in Finland?
Yeah, Finland. That's where I'm from.
That's crazy.
You guys are both U.S. Where are you in the U.S. at?
I'm in Florida.
Oh yeah, you're in.
Yeah, Florida,
I'm in Jersey.
Yeah, I remembered you were in Jersey, but you did mention when we had the first guest speaker thing for your tribe, you mentioned that you've been down to Florida, right?
Yes, I was in Florida. I visited Kenny in Florida before.
Oh, okay, so you guys actually met up that way.
We turned up a couple of times.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm planning sort of like a US thing with a few of the guys that I'm planning on traveling with, and our first spot was Florida. So it's nice to know that there's we got some guys out there as well that can show us the ropes. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm trying to get him to pop out for my birthday on the 4th. But he's
hell yeah,
he's fucking me.
So me and Brent are going back because I really want to go. Me and Brent have a massive project that we're starting. And Brent's like, I want to lock the fuck in for the next 6 months and like shut out the world. So I'm trying to, and I don't think it's that he doesn't want to go and see you. It's just that he's like, if I take 2 days off, like my mind, it takes me a long time to get back into the swing of things. But we can talk more after we stop recording. Hopefully we can figure. I'll call Brent. So we're live. I think. Oh yeah. So if you guys want to share the link, I'm gonna go do it now. If you just look up Mighty Brad on YouTube, it should, when you click on the channel, just show you live and then the link. Dude, this looks fire.
Okay. Should be right here. Man, first one is the one that you guys got together. Amazing. All right.
So you said share the link?
If you want, you don't have to, but like if you want to put it on your story for anyone else to watch or something, you should just be able to share the link, and then they should be able to see everything.
Okay, I'm gonna try and get this up on my story as well. Probably a couple of people that are gonna check it out, because in the military it was kind of like a running joke that I talk too much and that I should get on a podcast. And then I had to tell people like, oh, I've done many podcasts before, and then everybody wanted the links to it. And man, those guys, they're gonna laugh hard as fuck when they see that I'm doing one again.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be amazing.
All right, I got mine up.
All right, just putting mine right now.
So I don't know can you guys see the number at the top left of the screen or no? It says live viewers. Maybe I don't see it.
I can see like the timer, but not the.
Okay, I guess it's just me that sees it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, let's put it up. Can you put it with like a, if you got like a photo that you can put with the link?
I was just I just took a picture of us right now and then posted that.
Yeah.
And then put the link on it.
You guys are the Instagram professionals. Where the fuck do you put the link?
There should be a button on the slot on the right, and there's like a little clipboard icon, and it's like you can place the link there.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, I think I can maybe get a little help for this. Vou usar dessa. No. Yeah. No, it's better to do podcasting in good company. This table is a fucking mess right now. Like, I'm happy it's only in my direction right now because Jesus Christ, this would show.
Brad, do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Send the link in the group chat so I can post it.
Okay. That.
Thank you, baby. Perfect. Okay. Look how well she did it. Look at this. This is amazing.
Oh yes. Oh
Look at
yes.
Absolutely gorgeous. Jesus. This is what, honestly, like, I don't even hire professional assistants, guys. Honestly, like, I don't even need this shit. I get this shit for free.
Can you guys see the chat?
Hell yeah. Yeah.
You can see the chat?
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, I saw that right now. Man, even the Jesus, guys, we're cooking. Look at that still. I'm handsome as fuck in that. Look, like, perfect. Usually, like, my face is all fucked up because I'm like mid-sentence or mid-word or something.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Perfect. Chance is on my side today.
So can you guys see the chat on the StreamYard here on the side?
Yeah, I put the link in there just now. Or
no,
I
like
put it in the private chat. Yeah, the comment one. Yeah.
Oh, you
That's
see the
right.
comments, like you see Jack Vasaki?
Yeah. Just
you see Jack? Oh, that's my friend.
Hell yeah! Welcome, Jack.
I love Mighty Brad.
Bro, this is a good friend right here. This is the #1 supporter. We love to see that.
Oh yeah, dude, I love him to death.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. I think we're gonna maybe have a few people drop in here from my people as well. So if we start to see some like weird Finnish chants or something, then they pulled up. So yeah, I'll
I'm
translate.
looking forward to it. All right, we got 5 people currently on.
Yes, sir. Nice. And you got the recording as well?
Yeah. So it's gonna be. I think YouTube already has it live, so it saves the recording. So we'll just download it after it ends.
Okay, good.
All right,
All right. Let's see. Can anyone hear the feedback? I kind of hear myself a little bit.
I heard it a little bit just now. Yeah.
Is it gone?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so. I put my phone too close to the speaker.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's see.
Great.
Let me record some of this on my phone. A little different POV. So I can fucking set it up.
Well, yeah, also, Kenny, I saw on your Instagram, like, I had seen your stuff before, but I never actually realized you had that one video go viral as fuck.
Yeah, it's going up, man. It's almost at 1 million.
Get like 62,000 likes or something crazy. Like, I checked it a while back, and yeah, it was popping off.
Yeah, it's been going up consistently. It's about to hit 1 million, I feel like.
Damn. Okay. Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. I actually, like, I'm jealous of the fact that you actually managed to do it with such personal content, because the only like mega viral thing I've ever had on Insta was back in the day. I had like maybe 2021. I had like a tech page, for like PC builds and shit. And one of those pics got 65 mil, and it had like no one could associate it with me. And the way I figured it out,
5 million what?
Views, 3.4 million likes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I literally, like, one of my friends in class showed it to me, not knowing I run the account. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then, I just figured, like, damn, check it out. And then after that, I swear they shadow banned me because I was getting 1,000 followers a day every day. And then it went down to 5. And I just like lost motivation. So they put me on, they put me off. And then.
Did you change the content at all? Like, did you switch the content?
Not really. Like, I think it was essentially the same. So I couldn't really figure out what happened. But then after that, I was like, yeah, damn, I need to do this like with my own face. I need to start this shit. And then it was the gaming. Then it was the fitness. Then Brad taught me how to be, a humble billionaire, international Playboy businessman. And yeah, then we got to this content.
Yeah, man. Hey, but I mean, I want my face to be known. Like, I want my face is like my brand. You know what I'm saying? I want people
absolutely.
Even if they don't know my name, which they should, but if they just see my face and was like, oh, that's that guy I've seen like a couple of times, and everything. Exactly. Every time I see him, he's spitting knowledge.
Exactly. So, and I think there's a lot of benefit to that personalization, but it also comes at a cost. Like I've had times where people actually like they hold it against me or something, where they actually like they recognize me and they're like, oh, you're that one guy who whatever, like they don't like it. Or I even had a girl actually at the gym who literally like came to talk to me, right? When I was just doing my thing, wanting my Instagram and shit. And after texting with her on Instagram for a while, she said like, hi, I think you're really great, but I checked out your Twitter and I think we have really different values. Literally.
Yeah,
so
that story of my life, bro.
It happens,
bro.
Of my life. It happens. There's no way to run from it. But hey, I'm not in university anymore. I'm not employed. Like no one can fire me. So thankfully, that's the benefit of being like this. The only thing is PayPal can shut me down. They did that before, but I think that's just because I was doing something like slightly illegal, not because they wanted to cancel me. But we'll see.
Hey, man, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Yo, lawyers watching this, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Don't get any ideas.
All right, let's see. I saw Joseph's chat. He says the feedback goes in and out. For anyone watching, if you could throw in the comment section if we sound like the feedback is going in or out. If it's still like that, say that. If it's good, then we'll be good to go. Hopefully, we're still okay.
Nice.
Because it sounds fine on my end.
It sounds clean on mine too.
Yeah, before it was actually like before I heard it, but right now I think maybe it's because I moved my mic a little bit more away, and maybe Kenny as well. So if it doesn't ring that well, then yeah, probably better now.
All right. With that said, might as well just start up the conversation. Oh man, where do we start? We can talk about anything that exists in the universe and talk about it for 5 hours. So
yeah, no, this is gonna be like a 25-hour pod if we actually go through everything that we had on the we had on the brochure.
What would be a good place to start? Like lifestyle, dating, relationships. What's on the tip of everyone's brain?
Hey, how do you pronounce your name, brother? I don't want to be slaughtering your name.
No, my name is like really simple, Nilo. Like the Americans, you guys say Nilo at first, but just Nilo. That's it.
Okay, Nilo. Okay. Where do you feel like, in what area is most of your expertise?
Is most of my expertise.
Where do you feel like
I'm the Da Vinci of this shit. No. Let's I think in terms of my expertise, most of the stuff like for the new program that I have coming out that I'm launching right now, that's mostly mindset focused. I would say around mainly business and productivity, but other things as well. And then I think the other areas that maybe you guys have been talking more on, like the lifestyle, the dating, all of that kind of thing, I sort of sprinkle that in to my paid stuff, and the more my content goes to that end. So I know your content, you've done a lot of dating stuff. I know that. I know you've done a bunch of lifestyle stuff. I know Bradley has delved really deep into all the psychology of these things. So I think we can pretty much go to like a mix of those. But I mean, look, Kenny, I haven't actually met you before or talked to you before. So I'm down if you just want to throw down like a little bit of your story and what you want to talk about.
Look, the game is universal. You know what I mean? The laws of the universe is applicable to every aspect of life, essentially. So we can really get into any topic. But I haven't like every time I've gone to like your Instagram, I was like kind of looking for content and stuff like that. And I noticed you don't really post on there at all. Or do you? Am I not mistaken?
My Instagram, not as much. Mostly for me, it's been X because that's where I've been getting all my clients from and etc. But I've been thinking of like that's what all these, like video editing kids, they want to sell it to me in my DMs, like, pay me like $6 quadrillion a month and like I'll make you Instagram reels. But I'm getting back into it now. Especially since, now like I discovered I have a personal assistant and stuff right here at the ready. So maybe, there'll be like editing help or something like that. And that's a cool thing about game. When your game is improved, your life just becomes easier, honestly. Like how many things that you don't need to pay for when you just have good game. If you really think about this shit, like it's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Not even just it's game, right? I mean, people don't like to use that word because it has a negative connotation,
No, they hate the word. They hate the word, but they still want to learn it.
Exactly. But I think a lot of guys, they feel either less of a man or they feel immoral to to use their girl, to benefit them in certain areas, when it's like,
absolutely,
that's essentially what they're here for. That's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? That's what relationships are for. We're here to use each other and be useful. But society has conditioned men to believe that they're supposed to do everything for a woman and not essentially get anything in return. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, massively.
It's really interesting because most of us as men go throughout our lives thinking that women need to do things for us, and there's like this super high expectation, and there's also zero communication around it, and there's also zero value of you as an individual to have a woman even want to do those things for you. And it's like my girl, I don't even need to ask her to do anything for me. She just wants to, right? And it's like, it's because
exactly. There's so many of these things where if you need to make it a point of contention, then it's not even worth making. Like,
I would disagree with you on that a little bit. I would disagree with you.
I mean, look, it depends. It depends on what it is. But I would say if there comes a point where it's a massive argumentation over every single little thing, then I mean, look, there's the saying: if you can't change the girl, change the girl. Like, if there's nothing that you can really do at that point, then it's just, it ain't meant to be. It ain't meant to be, because the way I see it, like you said, relationships, people, they like to use words like transactional, etc. But I tell this to all the guys who, in my coaching personally, they wanted some like dating help and they wanted to improve that area of their lives. It all comes from you. I mean, reality in general around you reflects you as a person. But if you're not a man worth respecting, then there's no like little giddy gadget I can give you which is going to make these women respect you, bro. Like, there's nothing to be done. And I think most of these sort of little hacks, they're ways to get around the obvious stuff. Like, how do I date a girl when I have no money? Like, bro, get money. Like, it's not that deep. You don't have to avoid the issue itself, but you just, if you fix it, the obvious things, then it all falls into place, in my opinion. Like, there are a million good women out here. They're just not looking for you if you're like that. So it's really like, it is a men problem as far as I see it.
I also,
I would definitely agree.
I find the money conversation really interesting. Because I saw a video that you posted, Kenny, of like, respecting yourself and knowing your value despite, maybe going through financial challenges and so on. And because it's like, and I think you gave, I mean, if you want to give the personal examples of like the times where you would hang out with women and like they'd come and pick you up, right?
Well, I promise you, bro. Every girl, like, I want to say every girl that I've been with, like, seriously, has made more money than me. Has had more money than me and made more money than me. Like, which is why, like, I don't really consider, like, when guys be like, "Oh, I need some money," like, I don't really relate, because I've gotten girls when I was broke. You know what I'm saying?
Ken, you're just at a different level. You're just at a different level. You can do things we can't now. But I mean, it is true. It is true.
I mean, one of the biggest pillars, right? One of the biggest parts is choosing the girls that choose you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think guys like to demonize women for being hypergamous or having a hypergamous nature and wanting a certain caliber guy. And it's like, "Oh, I can't get no girls. I can't get no girls." Bro, you can get girls, bro. Just the girls that you like or don't like you, or the girls that like you don't like. And then we want to demonize women for all the guys that like them, they don't like, and they want another kind of guy. But it's like, you want them to, quote unquote, lower their standard. Oh, if she's a 5, she should get with the 5 guy. Or if she's this, she should get a guy on her level. But it's like, you don't even want to do that yourself. You feel me? Now,
exactly.
I was cool with dating the girls that was on my level as I was grinding, as I was bettering myself. You know what I'm saying? Over time.
Yes.
Now there's always going to be girls choosing, but it's like, guys, we have a value system that is kind of been implanted in us, and it's also, primal at some level, that, oh, I need this girl, I need this one girl. I need the captain of the cheerleading team. You know what I'm saying? And you got this other girl in the math class. She not as bad as the head of the cheerleading squad. She not as fine as her, but she would do anything for you if you asked her. If she would do anything for you if you gave her the opportunity to fuck with you. But guys don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I was willing to do that. You feel me? And then I was taking time learning, getting better on myself, hitting the gym, and then my SMV is slowly raising. And then the girls that are choosing me, their quality is slowly raising as well.
Exactly.
So, and not even that. Like if you're not gonna go strictly off of the choosing, if you proposition yourself, if you believe that you're that guy, whether you have $1 million or $10 in your pocket, if you believe that what you have in here and what you have in here is more valuable than that, when you proposition yourself to a woman of interest, let's say the girl that actually is your type that you think, or most guys would consider out of their league, which is why they're not getting the girl. But if you actually believed that you deserve that kind of girl, even though you was broke, because it was inconsequential, approaching that woman with that frequency and that energy, she's gonna look at you like she's gonna feel that value, and then she's gonna value you for what you value you for.
Bro, that's massive. Yeah, no, exactly. I think most of that, when people talk about vibe, when they talk about resonating with girls, it is mostly about how you see yourself. Absolutely. Yes. Because these guys, they come into these situations with, you can call it confidence, you can call it self-esteem, but they have none of it. And I've seen it over and over and over again in situations where I actually, funny story, one time I made a game out of it with a buddy of mine who hadn't really done any kind of night game at all. And we went out to this one club in a city here in Finland. And I literally was on the dance floor with this guy. We're having the time of our lives. We're vibing. And there was a girl sort of down onto this like stage behind me that I said, I'm going to talk to that girl right now. And I saw four guys around her in like a semicircle, all of them looking at her, none of them saying nothing. And they all kept doing like the, like the 45-degree tone, like they're like spamming, like they're almost doing it and they're not doing it. And I literally counted down from 10 with my fingers. And then like I told my friend, like, watch this. And I just went over and I tapped her on the shoulder and I was like, come dance with me. And she was like, okay. And then I pulled her away. These guys, they looked like they wanted to stab me, honestly. Like they looked so fucking mad.
They've been plotting on that girl for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And like they wouldn't have done it for the whole night. And if they had done it, she wouldn't have been interested, because what kind of fucking approach would a guy like that do? But it showed that they had the opportunity right there. And I walked quite literally maybe a half a meter of space in between them. I walked into that space and I was like, hey, let's go. And instantly, that girl had been waiting for someone to say, like, hey, let's have a good time. Let's do something exciting. Let's actually have a great time in here. She was totally alone, clearly like a little bit weirded out because these guys are forming a fucking semicircle around her. It's so easy to do if you actually are proactive about it. I've never truly seen a guy try in the way that they shouldn't fail, which is crazy because I've seen ugly guys do it. I've seen broke guys do it. There's so many girls out here who never get approached, and you wouldn't know it looking at them. You really wouldn't.
Now, I'm going to ask you, what was the countdown to 10 for?
Because I showed like I can stand right there and they're still not going to do it. Like I wanted to give them time as much as possible. And and they proved it. And I bet if I would have counted to 10,000, there still would have been zero action. So yeah, that was just to prove a point. That was literally just to prove a point. And I've done, especially with the sort of like learning curve of it, I think the reps are the most important aspect. I talked about this with Bradley actually when I had the first like guest speaker masterclass with the Mighty Tribe, and I said to everyone there, like, do 100 approaches. And it seems like a lot, but when I was in, for example, I went to Albania by myself on a solo trip, and I know no one, I don't speak the language, I don't have internet, so I don't have Google Maps. I am truly like 1800s level villager in this city. And I did a challenge that I'm going to talk to as many people as possible. So I literally went out on the main street, which was 50 meters from my Airbnb, and I would approach 10 girls. I would go grab food. I would approach another 10 girls, go grab food, and then I would go out for the night and do as many approaches as I wanted to. And I did that for like 5 days straight. Never have I had so much fucking fun, like ever. And most of it, I had guys trying to pick fights with me because they thought I'm like some ignorant American guy. You know, I had like kids, you know, starting beef with me. Like so many really weird things happened, and at the same time, never have I grown so much in my social skills. Because so many of them, like, imagine getting so many rejections because they don't speak the language.
Right.
Like,
were you speaking English then? You were speaking?
I was speaking English then. Yeah.
A lot of them spoke English too, or no?
Well, most of them, yeah. Most of those girls did, but a lot of them didn't. A lot of them, you know, just didn't care. I don't think it's like a really social culture. But that's the point. Is if you really want to learn it, you need to go out of your comfort zone. Like your local grocery store, that's easy mode. That's easy mode. Go to a country where they don't speak English and try and run some game. Like Bangkok. Go to Bangkok and get some girls. Like that's actually what I would tell to guys that are really, really nervous at this. Nowadays, like even talking to any girl who speaks your language is easy now after that. And it never really goes away.
You're a god, bro. You're a god.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. No, I'm flexing too much, Bradley. Your turn. Your turn.
No, it's exceptional. It's so great that you've done that. And there's going to be things that you continue to do that are very similar to that. You know, it's so interesting because we have a culture now where guys are deathly afraid to go up to girls. Now, I do think there is like so much of not so much, but in part a biological anxiety that comes along with going up to somebody that you don't know, and especially a woman, because, you know, one of the worst feelings biologically is being rejected by a potential romantic partner or someone you could reproduce with. And so your brain's like, fuck, what is wrong with us? It just immediately you internalize it. But obviously we're conscious human beings. We don't need to do that. Here's the other thing that's complete bullshit that most men have as their ideology, which is they believe that most women do not want to be approached. We genuinely believe that. And so we're like, well, I see the videos online where the girls in the comment section, like, these guys are so weird. They're creepy. I just want them to leave me alone. And if you look at psychological research studies and surveys, now surveys in psychological research are one of the least accurate studies to do, but I think in this case, it's decently valid. So anyway, they asked women, hey, would you like more men to approach you? And I believe it was over 70% of women are like, yes. Like, I wish men would come up to me. And men are like, no, like they're going to think I'm weird. They're going to think I'm creepy. Women don't want to talk to me. And it's just, they immediately internalize it. And then this whole conversation that we're talking about energy and confidence is like, they feel like they have none of that, not understanding that all of the energy you can muster up within simply by words that you tell yourself internally, by feelings that you not force yourself to have, but invite to have. And like we can just imagine if it's a shitty day outside and you're like, oh, my mood's not great because it's cloudy. You can imagine yourself for about 30 seconds on a sunny beach. You feel the wind, you feel the sun. You can actually feel this. And then you open your eyes like, oh, I'm in such a better mood. You could do this with when you feel like you're afraid to go up to a girl or afraid to do anything in life and get out of your comfort zone. You go and do that. And then the whole energy conversation that we were doing before, men do not understand the energy. And it's like when I coach men about this, it's like that's the number one thing. 60% of your communication is your body language. 33% is your vocal tonality, and 7% are the words that you come out of your mouth. But what is every single person focused on 99% of the time? What are the words I'm going to say to this person? What are the words I'm going to say? It's like, no, how am I going to present myself? And one of my coaches, I love that he talks about this. He's like, I say the most wildest shit to women, and it's like it doesn't wear them out because of the way I'm expressing myself. And he gave this really funny example where he was like, he was like, I went up to her and she gave me like a little bit of a rejection, like, oh, I don't want to give you my number. And then he's like, oh my God. And then about 1 second later, he's like, oh no, I'm just kidding. And now she's like, she got scared for a second, which is like, she's like, oh shit, like, what's going on? And then she's immediately soothed by his presence because it's like, oh, he's just fucking with me. Like, he's so secure in himself to be able to pretend to have an outrage and then just be, oh no, don't worry about it. Cool. And now what is the possibility then there? She is now interested in him when she wasn't before, because it's like, oh, there's something that this guy has that 99% of guys I've ever interacted with in my entire life have never possessed. And it's like the energy conversation. Most men do not possess that. They don't have any confidence with themselves. And it's like, for the guys listening that are like, yeah, that's me. It's like you can start to develop that, and it's not difficult, right? They're very simple tasks. You just stack them up. It's like, how do you ask yourself very deep questions? How do I view myself? What am I doing with my life? Because so much, if you have no purpose, if you have no passion, your dating sucks. End blank, period. Unless you're just like, look, I mean, there's, guys, at the high school and college level, like you can have sex with girls and have interactions with certain types of women that are very not tapped into their femininity, and they'll just sleep with you because you're a frat guy or some bullshit like that. And it's like, but are those the women that you want to be around? It's like, probably not. And so, but also the women that are interested in you guys talk about this. They make it easy for you. And
they make it so fucking easy. Oh my God.
All of the rules that are mentally in her head go out the door when it's you. And then
bro, it's night and day. It's night and day. Like, it's actually the same with sales, because I compare game with sales a lot. If you have shitty prospects, it doesn't really matter how you sell. And it does, like, all these horror stories that these guys have with the women that they're dating, at the very bottom is that she didn't like you that much, and you still decided to sort of force the situation forward. You don't actually need to do that if you have women that are interested in you. If she's giving you so much hassle just to have the most basic kind of interaction, then truly, you don't need to. And I actually think it's negative to have those kind of women around you. I think it's negative to have the type of energy that's not fully on board. I think it's negative to have a kind of energy that's like, it's not based truly on polarity. It's not based on honesty. It's not based on any of those things that you actually want. And then you wonder why you're arguing. You wonder why she's giving you a headache. Like, you truly didn't know from the start. All of the sort of really annoying situations where I've just put my head in my hands and I've been like, what the fuck is going on? All of those, when I traced it back, I knew from the get-go. I knew from the get-go. I was just lying to myself, and I refused to really see it for what it was. And I actually think from that example that you gave of the guy, throwing up his hands and, acting as if he was mad about the rejection and then not, what he did right there is the most important thing that I've ever found in game ever. And fuck it. Let's see if anyone buys the program now, because I'm giving away all the secrets right now. But basically, it's getting rid of anxiety. That's the number one thing, because every single technique that in game is either escalation or getting rid of anxiety, and you can only escalate when you get rid of anxiety. If you really, like, what is comfort? Comfort is lack of anxiety, the same way that cold is lack of heat, right? That's all that comfort is. I don't feel pain. I don't feel scared. I don't feel bad. And we just interpret that as, oh, I feel good. I feel great. I feel free. I feel calm. And all the times when I've had girls say to me, like I've heard this verbatim many times, like, wow, I really thought I would feel anxious, but I don't feel anxious at all. And what that means is that you have, bro, if you hear that, it's in the bag. I'm keeping it all. If you hear that, it's in the bag, because you have at that point succeeded in bringing down those walls, and you've made the situation comfortable. And that's why we talk about the tonality. That's why it's much better for those like super basic gambits, like don't sit across from her, sit next to her, those kind of things. You get rid of the anxiety of confrontational sort of arrangements in the situation. And everything that you can do from a position of escalation is also based on that. I've many times arrived to like a girl's place, and I literally go sit on the couch, I throw my feet up, and I take my phone out. I'm like, baby, could you bring me a water? Could you be any more non-confrontational? Like, I am literally doing nothing like that. Look what I have here. I may have done that before. I'm not saying anything, but basically, if you do that, what you're creating is an environment where you are not lashing on, you are not going after something. You're simply there and you're ready for the invite. And that is that like chase versus attract kind of concept, where if you show that you're desperate to get a certain kind of outcome, or you're pushing really hard against some kind of traction, there you're showing that the friction is there, right? Yes. By pushing, because you're not assuming and you're not actually just being there. So if you are present and you don't push forward in a way where you're sort of like you're trying to get something versus just being and giving, then there's always going to be pushback. Like the dog runs away from you when you go after it. You chill, you're on the couch, the cat comes in your lap. That's the difference. So yeah, figuratively and literally, guys, chill on the couch. Go to a girl's crib, chill on the couch, ask her for water. If she doesn't give it to you, she's not a high value woman. Yeah. That's like a game in a nutshell if you have to do it really quickly.
That's a gem, man. Because like I believe your energy, for the most part, not all times, but your energy is infectious. If you're anxious, she's gonna feel anxious. If you're going up, yeah, I know you've never spoken to this girl ever in your life. You're like, yeah, she gonna fuck with me. She gonna like me. I already know. She like me. She gonna want me. You go up like you already got her. She's gonna be like, I like this guy. You got her, bro. You got her. Exactly. It's not all the times. You know what I mean? It's not every time. And like you were saying, I connected with it heavy when you said if a girl said, oh, I thought I was gonna be like really anxious or nervous, and like I'm like so comfortable. I had a girl fly out to me recently, and because we had never met in person. Mm-hmm. And she was like super nervous. She's like, I just want to let you know I'm gonna be nervous when I come. I'm like, no, you're not. I'm like, you're gonna be good. As soon as I get you in the car, you're gonna lax out. We're gonna be good. We're gonna chill. We're gonna vibe. It's gonna be a good time. Why? Because I'm a chill dude. I'm not scary. I know I don't carry myself like a weirdo, or the creepy guys Brad is saying that guys are scared of coming off. Like, if you know you're not a creepy dude, no, you should know that you're not gonna come off creepy, or you're not gonna be perceived as a creepy dude. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I get in the car, we just talking, and like your delivery on things, like you said, I forgot the percentages it was, but 60% is like nonverbal and body language. 33% is tonality and how you're spitting certain things, and then the last few percent is what you're actually saying, which is why guys think that they need some special line or they need some real unique and clever wordplay, bro. You don't
need nothing. I saw a guy do an infield with the like opening I like turtles, and it worked extremely well. Like, it worked extremely well. This guy was pulling like crazy. So bro, I'm tired of these like top 10 openings bullshit. Like, truly, it doesn't fucking matter, bro.
In the workplace
situational anyway. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, in the workplace too, like it's so much smoother because guys be having a girl at their job, or that they work with, that they trying to get with, and they don't know how to go about it. And I do understand that, because if you do say a certain, like, you could just be trying to flirt with her genuinely. All it takes is one time for her to feel uncomfortable or just not be attracted to you. Then you're getting reported, and maybe you lose your job or something like that. So if you just say normal things in a certain tonality, in a certain cadence, she's gonna know what you're getting at. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you throw a little jab. So I'm gonna flirt with a girl at my job, like, hey, how you doing? How was your day?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to like say you look good. I'm saying you look good. I'm asking how your day was.
Exactly.
You don't
exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's based on the tonality, 100%. Yeah.
Yes, bro. Yeah. And if it, like, your eye contact, these type of things, you don't need no clever, bro. Hey, I like turtles, baby. You feel me? Don't throw the baby in there. Don't throw the baby in there.
Like, good, Kenny. I think you need to roll with that, man. I think that has to be your new shit. Like, you should go with that. I like turtles, honestly.
Yeah, definitely try. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna find something I actually like, but
yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta say baby or nothing like that. Like, bro, just how you speak is just gotta be clean. If you feel like you're a clean dude or a smooth dude, bro, she's gonna think you're a clean, smooth dude, man. And how you carry yourself is gonna follow up. You feel me?
Men also, like, we don't understand how exceptionally intuitive feminine women are. Like, they know everything right off the bat. They can see that. And also the comfortability conversation of, well, she said she was very comfortable with me, and like, I'm going to be nervous. And then she wasn't in reality when it happened, is like, how many women are actually around men that they're comfortable with? It's like, it's not that many. It's like, there's some incongruency where they're like, I'm with my boyfriend or I'm with blah, blah, but it's like, there's just these 5 things that he does. And I'm just like, And And then look, there is some accountability in her aspect if you're in an actual relationship of like, hey, I'm uncomfortable with him doing something or being a certain way, and I don't bring that up to him, right? So there's no open dialogue around it, and then you're building up resentment to end the relationship. But then she'll probably just blame him, and then the guy will do vice versa when a woman does something that he doesn't like, and he just lets it go and says, it's like the idea of I'll deal with it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow becomes today, and you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. And also another interesting thing, I've been talking about this a lot recently, the animal part of you and the spiritual side of you, these two parts of you need to be integrated together. And the animalistic part of you needs to be acted upon every single time you think something. It's like, all right, you're with your girl and you think about grabbing her neck. You think about doing this thing. You think about saying this thing instead of, and look, this is something I'm still working on, but it's like, instead of me like, well, I think like, and I'm not like this, but it's like, well, I think we could maybe we should go here for dinner. It's like, oh, we should go here. Right. And it's like, you invite
We're going here. What are you talking about? Yeah, we're going. We are going.
Bro, fucking talk about it, man. Like that is once again another example that's complete night and day. I see so many guys, bro, they're asking, they're not telling. They're asking. And they don't even ask in that, like, they're not even asking, like the old, young, like Johnny Depp way of like, oh, would you like to accompany? Like, no, they ain't doing none of that, bro. They're going like, oh, hey, baby, can we go to Popeyes? Like, they're talking to their fucking mom. Like, they have zero assertiveness on anything that they do. And by the way, if the girl doesn't want to, she'll let you know. Like she'll
say coming out of your pocket 9 times out of 10.
Exactly. So like, why
you're asking her if you can spend your money with her?
Exactly. So it's just plain and simple. Absolutely not something that you should be like. Why the fuck are you stuttering on it? It's something where you need to push for it, or she's not going to feel comfortable with it anyway. I've seen so many times in the beginning when I didn't actually know how to do this stuff, and I knew that something could have worked. And the way it's presented is, honestly, I would say 80% of it. If I had to put a percentage on it, it's never about the thing that you're actually proposing, unless it's something really extreme. Girls like romance. Girls like this stuff. It matters who it's coming from, and it matters how it's done. It doesn't really mean that she's not like, oh, yeah, she just said she doesn't do that, bro. She's doing it with somebody. It's just not you. Like, I hate to tell it to you, brother. I hate to tell it to you, because I've encountered these guys who just do not get it. When you're with a woman that truly, truly sees you as that guy, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're at work. It doesn't matter if you don't want to spend money. It doesn't matter if you're filming a podcast. She will try to jump your bones, and that's just how it is. So, yeah, if you're fighting an uphill battle, you just have to realize that you're not assertive enough. You're not going at it like that. And even, I mean, look, I'm not telling you to lie. Like, I'm not telling you to straight up like not tell the truth. But however you need to do it. I've been, at parties where I was 18 years old, right? And the second youngest person there is probably my day, who's like 30. And I just had to pull the, I'm in my 20s. I just had to pull this gambit. I'm under 30, That's what I had to say. So no matter how you need to spin it, you just need to say it with confidence. Those weird moments of awkwardness and tension, they arise when you don't say it like you mean it. That's when it comes. You can, bro, put on an orange vest. You can walk into any construction site, just be like, hand me a hammer, They'll do it. Like, they just assume you belong there. So when you go to this girl's place, does it look like you belong there? That's the question to ask.
Yeah. There's also
act like you've been here before is what we say.
Yes, exactly.
Act like you've been here before.
There's also the vulnerability conversation of, it is incredibly vulnerable for a woman to tell you that she feels comfortable and to give you the space and all this stuff. But what we don't talk about is it is actually a vulnerable action for a man to reach out his hand and invite a woman to do something, because she could slap it away, she could bite it, she could turn it and use it against you, right? But you're doing it anyway. And you're like, hey, come here with me. And you're doing it in a confident manner. And whatever happens from there. But as the whole conversation we're having, it's like, what you're worth and what you should and shouldn't be having with someone. And it's like, hey, if there's no romantic interest here, if there's nothing here, like, okay, fine. The worst thing that I see men do, and guys have come into my coaching program and they do this, is like, she rejects me, and now it's fine. She just wants to be friends. Okay, right? It's like, but no, you don't actually want to be friends with her.
Out of the
and
coaching
now,
program. Oh
and,
my day.
and now you spend the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months pretending you're her friend, only to hope that one day she changes her mind finally and gives you the opportunity. And listen,
disgusting.
I'll tell you, for any of the guys where that actually does happen and you finally get the opportunity, it lasts 0% of the time. Because if
0%
if she
of the
does
time.
not want you from the beginning, you say, okay, I appreciate you being upfront and honest with me. Goodbye. Let's move on with our lives.
Exactly.
If we're not right for each other, we're not.
Unless you could put the girl in position to benefit your life in some way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only caveat I would say. Like, if she's willing to if she's willing to benefit my life.
Monetization, buddy.
You know
monetization.
Yeah.
Come on.
If she's willing to benefit my life in certain areas or willing to do things for me that I tell her to do, but she's just not, you know what I'm saying, trying to be sexual with me, cool.
I would agree.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you're yearning desires to like really be with this girl and she like not trying to be with you, yes, discard her immediately. But there's certain girls where it's like, I mean, relationships that I have with women, right, that like are not romantic, odds are like I just haven't, like, I'll throw a little jab. You know, I'll throw a little jab, see how she responds. I'm not asking her, hey, you want to, I'll just throw a little jab sometimes. And if she don't give me the reaction that I'm really need to take that step, then we just gonna be cool, you know. And there's a lot of girls, they look good and we cool, and she got a network of bad friends, or she has, you know, she knows a lot of different people, or she can benefit your life in other ways that you don't gotta, you know, smash every girl that you're attracted to. You feel me?
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only caveat to that.
No, I actually it started off sounding like a lot different, but I actually agree. When you got to the point of it, I think that's totally true. If you have women in your life that even, I mean, I don't think you should necessarily even be attracted to them ideally if you're not going to be romantic with them, because if you really are attracted to them, bro, at the end of the day, we're men. You're going to go after it at some point. You know, you're going to lose your cool. But if you have those women and they do benefit your life in some other, you know, non-romantic way, then 100%. But if that benefit is not there, guys, there's not going to be a chick that, you know, a chick that isn't even dating you, and you call her at 3 a.m. and you're like, you know, my house is getting broken into. I'm getting robbed. I need help. You know, I'm in a sticky situation right now. They are not pulling up. Okay, Rebecca will not get in the car, you know, with the sword off and come defend you. I'm sorry, guys. Like, that's not happening. So if you really want friendship, genuine, long-lasting, lifelong, deep friendship, that's what brotherhood is about, in my eyes. If it, like, you can have a very special, deep connection with a woman, but there has to be that element where it's not forced. You know, like, I don't believe in the fact that you can meet, she can think, you know, you're a fucking douchebag, and then you work on that. Bro, you don't work on nothing. Okay, first impressions last. If she's not into you from the get-go, then that's just not happening. I see there's another one of my kind here on the podcast panel. Well done, Brad. I see you.
It's crazy because I thought about that right before you said it. I'm like, I think I left my water downstairs. And then I heard you say that. And I'm like,
exactly. Good job. No. Like, this is credibility. Right?
There's no miles nearby.
The guys know that. We know what we're talking about. Everybody hold up your water. Everybody hold
credibility.
This is what I'm saying. You need to have it. Kenny, he's on mode. He doesn't have the girls in his room right now to deliver it. That's fine. He's focused. He's taking the most money out of all of us. Like, listen to him for the business advice. But I think absolutely you can have a setup like that. And look, I believe that in general you can have honesty about that. I actually heard a woman say this once, which was that she said it in kind of like a certain connotation, but she said that you're not a real player if you can't be upfront about it. And I thought about what she meant. And after a while, I said, like, damn, yeah, that's actually facts. That's actually facts. If you feel the need to sneak around, and not be upfront about this shit, then that means that essentially you're not secure in your own decision making. And once again, you're not living in abundance. Because if you were to live in an abundance mindset and you actually knew that you could pull off whatever you wanted, then why do you need to be secretive about this shit? Why are you playing that kind of thing where you can, you need to hide around and all that? Like, I've had times, for example, when I was still living in Portugal, and I had setups, at times where like I had multiple girlfriends, and they, like, we talked about it openly. Like, I've always been absolutely honest with everything I do, and I believe that the real bitch move is to hide. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger said that once when he was making that video with him, in the middle of the road, smoking that like really big cigar. And he's like, I smoke my stogie wherever I like. You need to find a hiding place. Like he was talking to some political opponent or something. And I absolutely believe in that. Why the fuck are you hiding? Like, you're lacking some confidence on, these girls are going to leave you. They're going to leave you because now all of a sudden they don't belong. Like, if they're not in your frame, they don't belong in your frame, then brother, they shouldn't be there in the first place. They should not be there. So get rid of that.
See, now there's really levels to this, right? And I agree with everything you're saying. And that's something that I needed to apply in my own life, even like recently, right? Because before I would just completely hide, back in like my younger days, right? And pimps say like lying to a woman is a crime against the spirit, because the reason, like me lying to a woman, if I'm hiding something, the reason that I'm hiding something is because I'm fearful of either her negative response or negative emotional response, or her leaving. You feel the need that, if I don't lie to her, she might leave me. Which, the fear of loss in itself is the crime against the spirit. You fearing losing her is what is going to get you to lose her, because she can smell it on you. And if you fear losing her,
yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Exactly. She knows, he's scared to lose me. The respect for you, the admiration for you,
bro, it comes from up here. It's gone.
She had you on a pedestal at first. She thought you were that guy. She thought you were that super smart, attractive, smooth dude who could get any girl he wants. And most girls, they're not gonna like this one, but most women have extremely low self-esteem, bro. They're not gonna want to admit it. Most women have extremely low self-esteem, so they don't even view themselves highly. And if he's scared of losing me, and I ain't worth shit. I feel lucky to even just be in his life. But if he's scared of losing me, he's not the super top tier dude that I thought he was. And it loses so much respect and attraction and admiration, which is the beginning of the end. The second you losing her, you should be like, hey, I'm gonna tell her what it is. This is how I move. If she don't want to be on the team no more, cool. I got a replacement coming in 24 hours. It's that abundance.
No, exactly. You do the Lakers to do the Lakers trade, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't move that way, then I don't think you can actually consider yourself to have abundance, because that fear, like, bro, you said it so much more concisely than I did, and I think that phrase, that the fear in itself is the crime against the spirit, bro, that they need to put that on some fucking wall somewhere. Like, that's actually beautifully said. I think that's going to be a tweet of mine. Actually, I'm stealing that. But it's crazy, man. It's the ism, and like, man. I think that, that is absolutely the truth. That is absolutely the truth. For the guys that live that way, not only are they definitely limiting the amount of love and the depth of relationship that's possible for that woman, but they're also limiting their own potential at the same time. And by the way, if you're not upfront about what you want, then you're admitting that you don't deserve that thing. Like, the things that you go for, you're admitting that you deserve that. So if you're broke and you admit that you're stagnant in that position, then somehow subconsciously somewhere you think that you deserve it. Like people talk about self-sabotage. In my upcoming program, I have weeks of content just on this because it seems like this is the one thing that no one can ever get over. Self-sabotage is you subconsciously believing that you deserve something else. That's what it is. You would not work differently if you actually believe that you were meant to be in that position. So it's not that you're uncomfortable truly. If you have your hand on a stove like this and someone turns it to 9, you will take your hand off. Like if you are genuinely uncomfortable, it doesn't matter if someone puts a weight plate on your hand. It doesn't matter if there's 10 pit bulls biting and holding down your hand. You will find a way to get the hand off the fucking stove because you are truly, truly uncomfortable. So to all the guys saying, yeah, I've been stuck here for years, it's been so terrible. Clearly, it ain't that terrible because it did not motivate you to change. If you felt genuine pain, if you genuinely knew that this was not your destiny, you would have already done it. So everybody who's talking from that position, you don't think you deserve that shit. Not at all. And I think every single time in my life that I felt truly congruent in the action that I'm taking and I knew that I deserved something, it has happened 100% of the time. Like never does it actually fail. And we talk about these things like, the law of attraction and all these different ways that we ascribe these things. And I think I'm sort of like, bro, I'm done preaching it. I'm done like finding new ways to believe it because it is as true as the fact that I'm currently holding a mic. Like I don't need proof of shit I see with my own eyes. Like I know certain things to be a reality. Funny story, the first time I ever pulled a girl, right? I actually applied this very same concept. I was chilling in my room in Lisbon and I just thought, damn it, I have never been with a girl. This was years ago. And I just said, you know what? That's going to change right now. And I cleaned up my entire room with the intention, like a girl is coming here tonight. Like I need to
Night?
make sure this is spotless. Yes, literally, I said right fucking now. And I had never done this before, bro. Completely zero experience with none of this.
You were a virgin at the time?
Yes, I was.
How old were you? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm 20. I'm 20 now.
Oh, you're 20 now. Wow.
Yeah. And I literally a few years back when I had this happen, I made sure that everything was spotless. I put this place in a condition where I had never had it before. And then I went and I had, an absolutely transformational conversation with a neighbor of mine who was my friend. Lasted hours. This guy was crying, truly broke through like major stuff with him. And after that, not only did I feel amazing, but I was fired the fuck up to make it happen. I headed out to the club by myself, alone, walking through Lisbon, and I pulled a girl. And it went exactly how I thought it would. And like after that, I thought, God damn, I saw this in my head. It went exactly how I thought it would go.
You brought her back?
Yeah, fuck yeah, I did.
Like,
I did. Like, yeah, clip this on YouTube. How Neil Backman lost his virginity. Like that's how I did it. And literally, after that, I was like, okay, all right, cool. I can actually. It seems like I can do whatever the fuck I want if I set the intention to do it. And then ever since then, it was just massive action from, until forever. And I don't think I'm ever going to stop thinking like that.
That's all you need, man. All you need is that belief that you kind of already did it. If you truly believe that you already got it done.
Yeah, that's we're constantly self-sabotaging in every area of our life, and especially dating. I was talking to one of my clients actually, and he was sharing how he was hooking up with someone that was married, and then we had the conversation of like, well, what do you get from that? It's like, okay, well, there's the sexual gratification. There's also the biological principle of like, oh, it's like there's like you could say the dark side of your nature of like, oh, I'm getting someone with I'm hooking up with someone that's married. Like, oh, I'm special. Like I can do that, right? And so you put yourself on a pedestal. And then we had the conversation of like, well, what do you actually want? A deep love and connection, right? And he's like, yeah. And so it's like, okay, well, do you get that from them? No. And then he interrupted me and he was like, no, but like I know what I deserve, and like I know that. And I said, no, you don't, because if you did, you wouldn't be engaging in any activity that contradicts what you know that you deserve. So it's like you don't know what you deserve. You have an idea and a conception of it, which is, a start. But until you fully internalize that and make that your standard and value and who you are and accept nothing less than that, you will constantly do the same thing over and over again until you die. And that's what most people
standard. That bro, that's a word for people to remember right there. I want everybody to hear what Bradley just said. Standard. Right? Standard means to not fall below a certain level. So something that you do not accept. Everybody should remember that, honestly. Like the standard that you hold for the things that you think you deserve, that's where it comes from at the end of the day. And that means saying no. And people who have that scarcity level that they're thinking at, they never want to say no. So it's terrifying to them. No, that's really insightful. Exactly.
Because so many things, especially about, the game we're talking about, we have beliefs that are counterintuitive, or like you're scared of undesirable outcomes, so you're moving in this certain way, but you moving in that way to avoid those undesirable outcomes are causing you to have the undesirable outcomes.
Exactly.
You're I don't want her to get upset with me, or I don't want her to leave, or so I'm gonna lie to her, or I'm fearful of losing her. That is what causes you to lose her. Or I don't want her to think I'm bossing her around, so I'm not gonna tell her we're going here. I'm gonna ask her like, hey, do you mind if we go here? But you acting like that is making her less attracted to you. She wants to be taken control of. Have y'all seen those memes where it'll be like a girl and a guy, right? They're like walking through the mall, and in the guy's head, he's like, okay, this exit's here. We're gonna have to hit this store.
Oh yeah. No, exactly.
And then the girl's like, in her own head, like la la la, like not thinking about anything.
Like a flower field, yeah.
Because she has a man that is taking control of the situation. That's what she desires. She wants to be used and controlled. As crazy as that going to sound to all the squares.
No, they don't realize. They don't realize that is exactly. You have no idea how much I literally relate to that, bro. You have absolutely no idea. Like,
bro.
Okay, this is actually. Look, I mean, I promise we're not going to get demonetized. So I'll tell you guys after the pod, but you have no idea how much I relate to that. But so truly, they. Like it is controversial to say that, but women want to feel like they belong to you, truly.
Yeah.
And there was actually a tweet I saw a while back, which I found funny, but it's so true. Like this one guy said, like, you can just claim women, and then people below that were like, oh yeah, like the ducks at the park, like you can just take them like for free. Literally, women want to be taken. they want to, bro. Like the men that will disagree with this in the comment section get no play. I'm putting it up right now, okay? If someone already commented when this video is up, you get no play. Okay, congratulations. If you don't understand that concept, it's never going to work out for you because you don't understand the desires women have are fucking crazy. Like the guys that are not in game, they don't understand. Like they still have that angelic misconception of how women are. Like they're just those, they're these innocent little creatures, who just couldn't do any wrong. They couldn't have any dark thoughts. Guys, everybody, book called My Secret Garden by Nancy Friday. Read that. I read the first 20 pages and I had to put that shit down and think for half an hour because I was like, oh, okay. Like it's from the 70s. And it's this Nancy Friday was the psychology researcher for women's sexuality, I think. And she did this anonymous newspaper submission thing where women could talk to her, remotely, anonymously about their fantasies. And she did it for years and years. And that book is basically the compilation and conclusion of that research. And
you put me on game. I'm definitely about to cut
I cannot say this shit without this getting demonetized. This is why I said after the pod, because it's like you just don't fucking know. And you would think, or all the guys that I've talked to about this, they're like, not my wife. Like, not my girlfriend. Bro, your girlfriend, especially because you don't fucking do it. Like, especially your wife Typically, your wife wants to... Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
this is beautiful. This is the dark side of feminine nature that obviously no one talks about, because what are we all told when we grow up? You need to treat a woman with respect. You need to buy her flowers. You need to do this, and all of that is true. But there's also this giant 90% that's going on in her psychology that nobody talks about, nobody is aware of, nobody employs. And look at how many marriages are failing. Look at how many people fail at life and in all of their relationships, because you fail to realize it's not a Disney fairy tale. Like, do women have a nature where they want to be compassionate and be treated well? And like, yes. And there's the other side of it, which even certain women, it's so funny because they will say in the comment section, like, I can't believe men say that they would do this to a girl, blah, blah, blah. And behind closed doors, that's exactly what is either happening to them, or they're just like, I wish a guy would do this with me or to me. And it's like, but I'm going to reject it in the public eye, because what is women's biggest fear? Being viewed as a whore, or she gets around, or she's sexually promiscuous. And so it's like you hide these parts of yourselves, and there's so much, there's the amount of sexual shame that women have is absolutely massive, right? And this is detrimental to their mental health. And then it gets to the point where it's like, if you take a woman with no values for herself, then she'll sleep around and just disconnect from the ideology. She'll just disconnect from the value as a whole, sleep with 100, 200 men, and just be like, no, this is just me. And then you have the women who look down upon them, but like they pretend that like it's okay, like, oh, like Sally, like she does this and like she sleeps around. It's like, oh, but she's empowered and like she knows what she's doing, like she's cool.
Bro,
right? Like, secretly they're like, she is so goofy, and it's like here's another thing.
Goofy's putting it lightly. Goofy's putting it fucking lightly, like
men don't understand.
Women say are crazy.
Men don't understand how competitive women are with each other. And it's like, you take a friend group of women and you take you take two girls that have been friends with each other for 40 years. Let's take it 25 years. And you put a guy in front of them that they both desire. Watch that friendship fall apart in about 3 minutes.
All the negative ideas that they have about each other will come out.
Women don't even like each other for real. Like it's actually crazy. Like I have never seen a female friendship where that does not apply. Like never ever. Like I think for that to not apply, they have to have met when they're like 6 months old and both currently be 90. Like for real. I think that's the only way it could be, because I've just, like, they pretend so much. If you're good friends with a guy and you're a guy, they'll tell your insecurities to your face and they'll tell you where to improve. They'll point out the flaws that you have that you're not addressing. They'll actually help you grow through that kind of brotherhood and feedback. Bro, girls, they will, like, the reason that women have the current psychological problems they do is because they lie to each other. I'm 100% convinced of this, because they'll say to Sally, like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You know, this 45% body fat Sally over here who doesn't, like, you know, cut her armpit hair. They'll say, like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. I really wish I looked like you. Bro, when Sally leaves the room, that shit is a Call of Duty lobby on steroids. They are roasting the fuck out of Sally. They don't give a fuck. Like, they lie to each other so hard, and then they roast each other behind closed doors. And yet in the public eye, you would have to think that they're all each other's biggest supporters. Women just love other women when it's in the public, because then other women will not judge them. That's why. Because they don't want to be judged by the other women for thinking like, oh, you know, you're a meanie, you're a mean person, even though every single girl out there does this. So that there's a massive double standard there. I feel like women, they will never be honest with each other because they're competing, but it's intersexual, and intersexual competition is both massive. But if they don't get some kind of honesty from somebody, then they will live in that delusion forever. Like, girls will say Lizzo is beautiful until you say they look like Lizzo. Honestly. Like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You remind me of Lizzo. Watch their face, bro. It's not pretty. So they lie until it's them. And then when it's them, they want absolute honesty from everybody all of a sudden. So you have to know where to draw that line, I think.
Yeah. You know, I had a perfect example of this. My last relationship, there was this time we were eating ice cream, and I said, she was talking about one of her friends, and we were having some conversation about it, and it somehow came up where I was like, I didn't outright call her fat, but it's like I said something that would allude to it. And so she had an outrage. She walked away from me. She's like, I can't believe you would say that. The next day, she made about 5 fat jokes about other people. And I'm like, hold on a second here. It's like, you care so much. And then you go and do the exact thing. And it's like, talk about us not having a value or standard for ourselves. And here's the other thing is we talk about creating our reality. Like the women that constantly talk shit about their friends 24/7, what reality are you creating for yourself?
Exactly.
Explain. Break that down.
So essentially the word, I mean, here, let's say this. When you say there's this concept and work called story work that I'm connected to a few coaches that do, and just in the way that you talk about yourself changes your physiological response. So if you say, I need to do this, you oftentimes the word need, we have a lot of resistance to. It's like, I feel like I need to do this. It makes me not want to do it. Then you say, okay, I should do this. Feels a little bit better, but a lot of people still have resistance to it. Then you say, I could do this. It's like, okay, well, maybe it's possible. Then you say, I can do this. It's like, oh, I'm feeling really good. Now, I will do this. And it's like, okay, the potential just keeps going up. You keep feeling better. And then, so think about this and talking shit about yourself. And when you constantly talking shit about other people, like that, you can't hide that energy. Like the women that are talking shit about each other behind their backs, they both know it's happening. When they talk about it, and then 5 minutes later, we're interacting now. You're both pretending, and you know you're both pretending, and you're deluding yourself, pretending that you're not both pretending, and that you're best friends, and that this is going to last until eternity, and you guys love each other. Like, you guys have the best relationship in the entire world. There's nothing that's going to break you guys apart. And in terms of the whole creating your reality thing, it's like, well, the word choice that we use changes how we feel. How we feel impacts what we think. Are we having creative ideas, or are we limiting ourselves? Are we self-sabotaging? And then it dictates the action that we take. If you're constantly talking shit about people, how can you have a genuine connection? Like, for example, you two, I have never, like, I talk about you guys all the time, like to my friends or people I meet. I'm like, my friend Nilo, my friend Kenny. I've never said a single negative connotation thing about either of you. And I think I feel incredibly connected to both of you. If I were to start talking shit about one of you, that feeling of connection to you guys, even though you may even not be aware that I'm doing it, it immediately goes down and something is off, and we both end up feeling that because this is energy we're talking about. And everyone likes to say like how energy is so spiritual and it's so religious and it has to be like the spiritual concept. Although I do believe it is. Even if you think all spirituality is fucking bullshit, think about how you walk into a room, you meet a person, and you either think to yourself, they're cool, or there's something really weird. I need to get the fuck away from them. It's like, this is energy. This is being transferred regardless of how you feel, what beliefs you have about anything. This is constantly being exchanged, and women are constantly exchanging this with each other when they're in the room together, and they're both pretending because their egos are so high that they actually convince themselves. Like, if you talk to a girl and say like, oh, like, how do you guys think your relationship is going? It's like, they'll be, oh, it's great. It's great. I mean, we go to dinner all the time, and like, we talk about Sally. And then when Sally's there, I talk shit about her. And then we're all together. We pretend like it's not happening. And it's great. Like, this is a fundamental great relationship that we have going on. It's like, no, it's in fact the complete opposite. And it's like, I think the reason as to why, statistically speaking, men's friendships last longer than women is because we're not doing these things as much. And for the men that like, and when we're interacting, I know for the three of us, I can't speak for all men. When you're interacting with a man who just constantly runs his mouth about other people, you either physically or mentally tell him to shut the fuck up. And
literally,
like, I don't want to hear
never happens with the girls. It never happens. Never ever. And it's so different because women, they would never resort to physical violence. That's the difference. In their social dynamic, it's not as acceptable to accelerate to that level. So they have to go to something else. Right? They have to go to insults. They have to go to reputation destruction. They have to have other means of exposing that aggression, right? Like, no man ever went to key another dude's car. When has that, like, in history, when has that happened ever? You just go beat the dude up. Like, if you really got a problem like that is some stuff that is petty to a degree that you wouldn't even think of that. When have you ever had a truly like a problem with a guy and be like, man, where's his car? Like I'm about to go, like, bro, that no,
never, bro.
You don't even think like that.
That idea was not even
in front of your house. You wouldn't even kick it. Like you just don't even think to do him like that because it's so beyond what you would have as a concept of how you accelerate that conflict. With us, we know that if certain thing gets said, it's on. It's hands and feet, and that's how it gets solved. And the fact that that threat is there actually makes us not do it. Like the geopolitical concept with, for example, nuclear weapons of mutually assured destruction. The reason why nobody launches the nuclear weapons is because a lot of countries have them, and they know that the enemy has them as well. If one country has them and the other one doesn't, they can launch all of them and not give a fuck. Right? They don't need to care at all. If both of us can throw hands, we now neither want to throw hands. Right. But with girls, because they know that they don't, then they kind of have to think like, how evil and conniving is this? Like, can this chick be against me? And that's a very sort of like a dubious game where they have to do a lot of guesswork. And sometimes what that guesswork leads to is I just have to strike so hard that this other girl kind of strike back. And you do that in a non-physical way. And that leads to some absolutely crazy stuff, bro. So some of the things that these women come up with, I mean, look, I heard once that this one guy died, right? And as a revenge, somebody sent a gay dude to his funeral to like cry profusely. Imagine this, bro. Bro is not there to defend himself. Now everyone thinks he's gay.
That's insane.
Can you imagine?
That's a real story,
bro. Yeah. Like there's some crazy shit for revenge that people can do when they're really out to get you. They got bro from the grave. They got him from the grave. They didn't even like. What do you even do at that point?
Yeah, and it's I've been doing a lot of research on marriage and divorce recently. And there's this one divorce lawyer named James Sexton, which you guys may have seen before. And I was listening to him talk to Orion. I don't know what his last name is. I think he's a psychiatrist.
He the GOAT, man.
Yeah. I think
Orion Terrigan.
Yeah.
Psychiatrist, man.
James was talking about negative gatekeeping, which is essentially when or how it's sometimes utilized in divorce and in court is when the woman is trying to manipulate the man and get more custody of the child or something of that nature, or manipulate the child in thinking less of the man and more of her. And so she'll do something like this. It's like, well, she could physically say to the kid, your father's an asshole. Or she could say, pick up the phone. Oh, it's dad. Right? And it's like, you see what she's doing there. And the other thing was, and then he's like, well, then we go to court. And the attorney asks, like, hey, to the kid, like, hey, does mommy ever talk bad about daddy? And he goes, no. And he's not lying because she's not outright saying anything, but she's constantly manipulating the situation. And it's the other thing he gave the example of. It's like, okay, well, here's would be example of a good, as best as a divorced parenting style can be. It's like, all right, he's with child, let's say the son is with the dad, comes back for the weekend to the mom, and mom, this is the best option, is for her to be, oh, you were a dad this weekend, like, how was it? Oh, you went and you got pizza. Oh, I know you love pizza. Like, that's awesome. All right, like, cool. Oh, you went to the park. Oh my God, awesome. Like, how was it? And here's the other side of it, where she could go back and he comes back from the weekend with dad, and he's like, oh, you spent the weekend with dad. Like, are you okay? Like, oh, how's everything going? You went to the park. Yes. Oh, it was so cold outside today. Like, oh, why'd you go to the park? Oh, you got pizza? Oh, you only had one slice of pizza? Like, oh, you didn't eat enough? Like, go upstairs and come back down. I'll make some food for you. It's like she's psychologically manipulating her child to dislike his creator.
Like now the pizza adventure is some fucking nightmare, and like it's something to be afraid of. Like
he was trying to kill you with the unhealthy food.
Like oh my God, you didn't get your macronutrients. Like there's any way to spin that story, and all of them end with the same exact like, oh, I didn't even know I should be afraid of this, but now all of a sudden I need to feel bad. That bro, that is more common even in, I mean, the custody situation is a good example, but when it comes to relationships with your friends, when it comes to your work, when it comes to different things like that as they relate to women, you can, bro, I feel like we all have examples of this. For sure we do. Like, for sure we have examples where you just don't you're not able to pinpoint it exactly because there's a way to hide behind that kind of communication. Like, oh, I feel like you don't support me in my work. When have I ever said anything negative about, like, you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about. There's a way to do it in a way that's direct, and then there's a way to do it that's discreet, plausible deniability. And no, that is something that I feel like a lot of men, they need to be better at picking up on that, because a lot of the times they, like, I think this is actually also from Dr. Teraban, where he was saying that problems are sort of like, they're so small that they're inconvenient to point out until they're large enough that they're actually sort of inconceivable to solve. And I think that applies to so many things. Most of the times when it's like, oh, this just blew up on me, bro, 8 months ago you could have addressed this. Like, a lot of the times it's something that builds up, it builds, and then when it's to the point where you don't even think it's doable anymore, then you're like, man, this bitch, like, you just decide it's never you, and it's never your fault, and now the external world is to blame, when in reality you could have addressed it. I like to actually, in terms of the mental frames, man, Bradley, we need to charge for this video or something. We're dropping too many gems, but I think
it's not exclusive, man.
I think one of the ways, the mental frames that you can assume to do this, is if you were just playing Sims, how would you act? Like, if you were actually in a video game and your character did whatever you wanted it to do, as in the click of and you can apply this to anything. Like, if going to the gym was a button and then an animation happened and your character went to the gym, you would fucking do it, right? Because there would be no discipline aspect to it. If your Sims girlfriend, or whatever, like your virtual girl that you quite literally designed, was acting like this, would you change the design? Well, then it's clearly not acceptable to you.
And that's what I was going to touch on.
And then you can live with it.
That's what I was going to touch on. Because you were advising, like, oh, guys need to, like, pick up on how these girls do certain things. It's like, yes, right? I mean, you just have to have the understanding that women do this, right? But moving forward, it's just like, have a zero tolerance. Young Goldie is the guy that I follow. He said, if I even, he'll tell a girl, if I even think that you're lying, you're lying. And if you're lying, you got to get the fuck on. So it's like, girls would like to do these little things or play these certain little games that they could get away with. Or I know from my experience that girls, when they get caught in some BS, we
could go for 5 hours on this shit. Go ahead, brother.
Their go-to is to act stupid, like confused, like they don't know.
Oh my god, what?
You don't know
what you even think this? No, bro.
Bitch, you know what you're doing. And it's like, the acting stupid or dumb or acting so confused is their only out, because if they're conscious of what they did, now they have to be accountable, but if it's kind of like if you don't know that you're sinning, you can't really be punished for you sinning. So they resort to them acting like, oh, I had no idea. You knew exactly what you were doing. But if you have a zero tolerance from the jump, if you even allow me to slightly think that you're lying, and you will reap the consequences of you lying to me. Because if I would think you're a liar or you're lying, and I asked you if you lied, how can I believe if you say, no, I wasn't lying, I was being honest? If I believe that you're a liar, you telling the truth holds no weight, or you telling me that you did something else holds no weight, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know it sounds strange.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. I think that aspect is major. Yeah.
Exactly. If I think you're a liar and I ask you if you did something and you tell me it's one thing, but I think you did the other, if I already view you like you're a liar, I have no choice but to, you know what I'm saying? Me believing you is out of the window. So it's her responsibility to make sure she carries herself at all times in accordance to not even make me think. You know what I'm saying? She should be super open and honest and, hey, I'm going here at this time, I'm doing whatever, so that Ken doesn't think I'm doing something else. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want him to have the idea that I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing.
Exactly.
So if you have a zero tolerance from the gate, the games will stop for the most part. They're still hardwired to run some games, but for the most part, they're gonna be on their best behavior. You feel what I'm saying? And then if you catch her in the smallest, you have to punish that fast. Show that you do not tolerate that fast. Exactly. That's what they like to do. They're constantly testing you. They're constantly testing to see if the man that I'm with
you for bringing that up.
What I think he is. You know?
Yeah. Anything that goes. I talk about this with my girl. Anything that goes unconfronted turns into resentment, and then everything goes to shit. But on the conversation of what you're saying of like, well, she's telling you this and that, it's like I've never had to question if I can trust her because and I don't even like the things in which most modern relationships you have to ask your partner to do these things for you. I don't have to ask her to do anything. She just does them because she wants to. And I appreciate it so much. And it's like there's been not even an ounce thought in my mind of like she's doing this and maybe she doesn't respect me. And she's doing this and it's making me think like that thing is off. It's like she hasn't shown me one singular sign of that. And I think it's because she views me and she respects me and who I am, and I do the same for her, and we have that together. The problem is, like, most people are in relationships where things are not aligned, and number two, most people are deeply traumatized from their past, and they take that to all of their future relationships. And so if we're on the conversation of women doing this, it's all men have treated me like shit. I used to have the ideal of what I want to do for my man, how I want to be there for him, but since all these men hurt me, now I'm going to make the man prove himself to me before I can do any of those things. And it's like, that's how you fundamentally destroy and men do this, of course, too. This is how you destroy your relationships. From this thing happened in my past relationship, now I have to take this and just infect it in this one. And that's how you just absolutely kill passion, you kill attraction, and you kill the connection you have with each other, because now there's no openness and you're being run by insecurities. And so it was just like in one of my past relationships, it's just like I had to ask her, I'd ask her to like help me with basic things, and there was always an objection. It's like, okay, this is not going anywhere. And so like you said, it's like the second there's an incongruency, it needs to be addressed. But again, there are certain incongruencies where it's like, okay, if she did this, like there's no going back. Like, for example, the cheating conversation. I mean, how many men take back their girl after they cheat? It's like, if she cheats, she has been checked out of the relationship for the past year. It's like she was already
dog. Yeah. Like, if there is one thing where I like to think that the world does not function in a black and white way. I like to think that. How fucking ever, bro? If your girl is jumping on another man, I am sorry, it is over. And the way that is hard for some men to comprehend is astounding to me. It's actually astounding to me. And we see, bro, our society has eroded this shit to the core. Like, I think there's men that we know in a very public way who a lot of people look up to, who still, for example, like, bro, they let their wife get piped by other dudes. Like I know this for a fact. I'm pretty sure like Steph Curry like lets other dudes like pipe his wife and shit. If I don't remember incorrectly, like there's examples like that you would never guess, bro. You would never guess, and you're just like, how? Like, do you know who the fuck you are, bro? Like, have you checked your own birth certificate? Do you know your own name? Do you know the things that you have that that you could offer a woman? And even they can't get it right. Like, look, I'm happy to say that I have better relationships with women than some billionaires. And I don't know how we ended up here where these guys are in that position and they're doing so poorly. And what I truly realized is that game is independent of other achievements. We like to say that, oh, just get the money, just get the physique, just get this, just get that. It won't work unless you practice the game aspect as well. It absolutely won't. I have taken girls from guys that are truly like when I say rich, I mean hundreds of millions, like hundreds of millions. And I have taken their girl right in front of them. And it does not matter. It does not matter. And also not even about looks. I know professional models, like guys where you look at them and you're like, that has to be AI, right? Some of these guys do not pull. It's astounding. Yeah. It's actually astounding. But the reason is they have zero game. They have zero game. Yeah, like they just they never
think about
went out.
A part of like from a biological alpha beta standpoint, you got to think about why these guys are billionaires in the first place. It's because it was their only hope, essentially. Like, bro, I watched Elon Musk just speak, bro, and I can't even imagine him. Like, I can't even imagine him getting a bitch's pussy wet, bro. Like,
bro,
it's like you don't have that flavor. So you can have all the money in the world, but you don't have a certain level of game and flavor that can make her move in a certain way or make her feel in that certain way that just causes that genuine eager desire. It's you don't need no money for it. You really don't. It's
exactly.
The presentation, I believe, is important. You know what I mean? And it costs money. Like, I'm not saying you can be homeless and like, your hygiene is.
But you can even do that. You can even do that. You can even be homeless. Look up this documentary. Look up a documentary on what the fuck is the name of it? Somebody in the chat look this up. There's a documentary on a guy who runs homeless game in New York City. They followed this guy for like a month. He's homeless and he only sleeps at girls' places. They followed this guy for like a month. They almost stopped filming because he went to stay with this like super rich 50-year-old lady, and he was just chilling there eating caviar. And like that was like half of the film. Like the 50% on the later end is just him like on a yacht with this lady. Like, bro, they don't know how much money you have when you cold approach. What the fuck? Like, there's no number above your head. Like, bank account balance. Like, they don't.
But the presentation does speak before you do, though.
Exactly.
So like, you could be homeless and not look homeless. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or does he look homeless?
Like looked homeless though.
Did he look homeless?
Like he didn't like maybe the clothes a little patchy, like, but like he had. I would say he had normal clothes. He had normal clothes because he would wash the clothes at the girl's place. Right. So like that's how. Yeah. He had a shirt. He had jeans. Like very very normal. Maybe a few stains here and there. But like not like full on like hobo. Been like living in the sewers. Like not like that kind of homeless.
Hair looked decently kept.
I'm pretty sure this old lady paid for like a haircut for him as well. Like, I guess he was getting haircuts.
We need that documentary.
Yeah.
We need that documentary.
I'm telling guys, like
everybody watching.
There's no fucking excuse. If that guy can run game, so can you. I've had guys that I've coached that are diagnosed with autism. If I can teach those guys game, bro, if you are homeless and don't have autism, shut the fuck up and run game. Like there's no excuse, honestly. There's guys way worse than you that can do it. So yeah, I think we need to get out of that victim mindset.
Bro, that's actually like groundbreaking, bro. Like the story of a homeless guy. He said, and then he was on a yacht eating caviar.
Yeah, like, bro, talk about zero to hero. Like he really made that.
Like I fuck with pimps. You know what I'm saying? Like I read books on pimps and these certain things where it's essentially guys is getting girls to work for them and bring their money back and stuff like that. And it's like, bro, a level of game and just in that story, like you were saying, it's like it can really get you anything. That it really can get you anything.
Anything.
If a woman likes you enough, she will do anything for you.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that is true in my day-to-day in a way that I cannot even describe right now without getting this whole shit demonetized. Like the way that women will care for you, bro, when they really want you like that. I cannot help but think that all these guys complaining about women haven't felt that.
They've never tasted it.
Bro, they haven't tasted. Like it's like saying like, oh, food sucks and all you've ever eaten is, I don't know, canned beans, and you're just like, bro, food is terrible. Like I fucking hate the food of earth. Like, bro, no, you're eating the bottom of the barrel. If they actually felt, bro, you become pro women the minute like you taste this shit. Like, bro, women are fucking awesome.
Oh my god,
dog, women are the shit. Let me tell you. Like,
yes, bro.
Anybody who doesn't like women doesn't get played. Like, I think that's really what it boils down to.
Bro, they're so valuable under the right framework. If you have them under the right framework, they're the most valuable thing you can really have.
Literally.
Like, truly. Like, women or people in general have a misconception. If they watch my content, they think, oh, he's a misogynist. He hates women. Bro, women in my life have done so much more for me than men have, bro. And that's genuinely
true.
like I learned, bro. The second I turned 16, I was begging my dad to teach me how to drive, because I wanted to get my license and things like that. And I'm not trying to put my dad out there like that, but bro, he never took me, bro. Up until like age 18, I was asking him from 16, hey, can you teach me? He was like, yeah, I got you. Never did, bro. One of my girls, she took me in her car, took me to this parking lot, taught me how to drive, bro. Using her stuff around, and then we ended up breaking up. I got a new girl. She let me use her car for the driving test. None of my boys was about to do that for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo guys,
like,
announcement.
so
Kenny is the new guest professor for the program. I'm actually hiring him on the spot. Everybody can go check that out now. Go ahead, bro. Just making a quick announcement, right?
Bro, it's beautiful, bro. Like, I'm like restaurants that I didn't have a paper to go hit. Ruth Chris, Kevin the Grill, Top Launch, bro. The girls, hey, it's on me. My 21st birthday, bro. So many things I've gotten from women. I told Brad this once. Bro, I had one of my girls. She was editing my videos for me. I mean, she was like elite because she was a film major, so she knew a lot about editing, and it was editing way better than I was editing myself. Like girls are really like you were saying, you don't need an assistant, bro. If you got a girl, you don't need no assistant. You have a 24/7 assistant.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
If you have multiple, but the problem is,
you can run a fucking company. I'm telling you, like you can do that shit for free. Like
exactly,
bro. These lights. The reason why I'm so happy currently. Look at the things that are on this table right now, bro. Shit is just like spawning in, right on my table for me. The refreshments are coming. I'm having the time of my fucking life, and that's because I got free assistants in here. Like if you have not felt that benefit, I actually had a nickname for one of my girlfriends, which was like, "You're my best assistant." That's like the like compliment I would give to her all the time, because she was booking my flights. She wouldn't pay for stuff, but she would do most of the things that require. Now that I think about it, yeah, she did the things that required me to pay for things, but that help comes from, like you said, it comes from the frame. It comes from the framework that you have these women in, and it comes from the frame of the relationship. I feel like so much of the modern, bro, especially I think Bradley can relate to this. The whole weird, like, no responsibility to passivity, like mommy son thing. Like I feel like that's what most modern relationships are, bro. Like they truly, they want the woman in the driver's seat. They don't want to do nothing for her. They don't want to have the masculine leadership necessary to actually incite that respect from the woman. And there is no solution other than fixing that frame. There's none. Like there is no way to combat that. Look up the video with Jeff Bezos and Leonardo DiCaprio at some super fancy gala. Bro,
I almost saw a picture.
Bro, yeah, I bet you've seen it. Like he has this Latina baddie on his arm. Bezos, $100 billion, right? Because women want money, right? Looking up to DiCaprio like she's ready to do things to him that will get this video demonetized. Like what the fuck did money have to do with that equation? Absolutely nothing. But he's Leonardo DiCaprio. She felt that aura like down the block. You know, like she can't wait to get in the same room with this man. Having that level of wealth next to her, don't give a solitary fuck. Jeff Bezos is standing there like a fucking schoolboy.
You're like, Jeff Bezos!
Bro, you're Jeff fucking Bezos. Bro, your company is worth $1 trillion and you're spawning like it. Like, game is independent. Anyone, look up that picture and after that, tell me that women just want money, dude. Like, that debate is fucking over. That debate is over.
You know, it's
you can't get around it.
That James Sexton. You know, I was just gonna say, James Sexton gave an example of this. He's like, you know, someone came into my divorce office, and you know, he's like, yeah, it's like, you know, it makes a lot of money, and they got a big house, this is that, beautiful kids. And he's like, yeah, it's like she's been coming home a lot later because I'm working so much. She's like, but she's coming home a lot later. She's been working with this trainer for like 5 days a week. Like she's really betting herself. Like she's getting herself out there. Like it's all awesome. She's getting in the gym more, and she's playing tennis with this new instructor, and she likes spending time with him. Blah blah. And then he's like, she's banging the tennis instructor. Like what? And then he's like, well, it's like, well, she told me she banged the tennis instructor because she was lonely, and she was spending too much time with the kids, and I wasn't doing anything. And he's like, but I was just giving her what she wanted. Like she wanted a big house, so I'm working all the time to give her the big house. And it's like, if she wanted me to stay home and spend time with her all day so she didn't feel lonely, I would do that. But then she would get mad at me for not being able to live in a big house because I need to make money and work to do that. And so he's like, what do I do? And it's like, well, what you do is find a woman who's actually grateful for anything that you do for her instead of like needing all these things from you constantly.
If you cannot change the girl, bro.
There's a saying we have. If a girl wants to stay, there's nothing you could do to get her to leave. And if she wants to leave, there's nothing you could do to get her to stay. Choose the girls that choose you. There's nothing. If she wants to leave, there's nothing you can do. There's no, oh, I'm gonna buy her some flowers. Oh, I'm gonna take her here, or I'm gonna give her some more attention. Or if she don't rock with you, she don't rock with you. And inversely, exactly. If she wants to stay, this is not good. I'm not saying this is good, but bro. I've had girls, bro, and they've caught me in certain situations, and I accepted. I was like, in my head, yeah, she's gone. She's gonna leave me. It's like once she found this out, yeah, she's gonna leave me. There's no way she stays after this. And they stayed every time. A girl that I was really locked in with, she's helping me pack for a trip that I was gonna go fly. Right? She was cleaning up my room as she was like, helping me pack my stuff. Found another girl's panties, bro. And she was about to drop me, and then after that, dropped me off to the airport. I was like, but it was like a silent drive, like a quiet drive, obviously, like whatever. Me, I accepted. I was like, yeah, she's, you know what I'm saying? I lost her. It is what it is. Bro, she didn't go nowhere. I thought when I got back from the trip, that was it. No, she was upset, of course, for a little bit, I wasn't on no like, oh, it's not what it looks like, begging her. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. I wasn't doing that. I was just like, damn, and I accepted.
Yeah, it is what it is.
She goes, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Is it? But bro, and it's been stuff like that multiple times over, and you would think that they're gonna leave you. You think they're done, and they're not. And then vice versa.
Bro, never.
Bro. And I've never done this, but I know y'all have probably heard of guys, or like a girl be complaining about her guy. Oh my gosh, he's so this, he does this and this and this. A guy will be putting his hands on a girl, slapping her up and all this stuff. And everyone's like, bro, why doesn't she leave him? Bro, if she wants to stay, there's nothing you could do to get her to leave, bro. You could I'm not advocating for this, but dudes is physically abusing girls, verbally abusing girls, treating them like shit, and they don't leave. If she wants to stay, there's nothing they can do to get her to leave, bro. So, exactly. And if she not for you, bro, guys think that there's a certain number of things that they could do to get back in her good graces, which in itself is destroying it. But I need to do this, or maybe if I take her here, or maybe if I buy her this, or like, bro, a woman just needs a reason. She just needs a logical reason, which they don't. That's not how they operate. But when she tells you what you did wrong, it's going to be a bunch of logical reasons of why she cheated, or why she slept with the trainer. Oh, he wasn't giving me enough attention. Oh, because he wasn't doing. Bro, if he did that shit, you was still going to cheat on him. Whatever she just needs a reason to not be a demon. But that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? You are. And it's not her fault. It's not her fault. You know what I'm saying? She's just a product of the universe. But like, I like to say that, like, I think humans in general have a dual, like a two-sided attraction. Like, are you guys familiar with the Madonna horror complex?
Yes. I've been diving into that recently.
Okay. Nilo, you're
I've heard of it, but I mean, if you can give a breakdown of it, I'll probably understand it better.
Essentially, it's like guys are attracted to two different women, right? One side of the man wants the chaste, virgin girl who's super sweet, the angelic girl who's not freaky or whatever, pure.
Yeah.
They want her, but then they also want the girl that they get turned on by the girl who's wearing revealing clothes, big booty. She's like has a sexual nature and seductive energy to her, and knows how to suck it better than anybody. Like super freak in the sheets, right?
Exactly. Brad, I'm sorry about your ad rev. I'm sorry about that.
But
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Are attracted to two different women essentially, and I think if you can find a fusion in a girl between the both, that's usually the girl that you're like head over heels crazy for, right? But men think that women are like they don't have a similar nature. So women also have a dual nature. Women they do like the nice guy. They do like the sweet dude who does nice things for her, but she also has an itch that needs to be scratched by a guy who doesn't give a about her, by a guy who's gonna talk to her crazy and call her names and grab her by her neck, and like she craves that as well. So exactly. if you could find a way to position yourself to be both of those guys combined, where you can fulfill both of those energies, because you can't just be a dick to a girl, treat her like crap, never give her no nice sweet words, never give her no soft touch, and she's just gonna forever be head over heels for you. No, you can get her for the night, you can get her for a weekend, you can get her for a certain period, but you're not going to get the most out of that woman just being a dick to her. You know what I'm saying? So exactly. If you know how to scratch both itches, that's really the key to that ownership. Like I know Nilo is saying girls really want to belong to you. Yes. What does belong to mean? Own. She wants to be owned by you.
Bro, nobody wants to use that word. Yeah, but that's exactly what it is. And I think that's actually, I mean, first off, I think stating it is a turn on for a lot of girls, but that is plain and simple. That is what it is. And I think it's also really underrated to see the way that the same girl is with different guys. Like I've had times when apparently this girl is just, I mean, with this other guy, she's just terrible. I mean, horrible. You would never want to talk to this girl again. Bro, with me, I can't find a flaw. And that is just like the guys that are saying, oh, there's no good women out here. They're no good to you. They're good to somebody else. You don't actually understand what it takes to make them allow for that type of behavior in that kind of frame. Bro, I don't care who you are talking about. I don't care if it's the girl next door. I don't care if it's the Miss Universe winner. I don't care if it's the fucking Queen of England. If you are that guy to her, the frame gets put in place, period. Like you said, you can't get them to leave. I mean, I've had like girls that, like they won't give me back my stuff. They show up to my fucking house, like it's at that point, it's like, oh, I can't lose. And I mean, unfortunately, there's times where you really want to lose, but
but
it's like you can't. Bro, if you have that frame, it is almost impossible to fuck it up. And bro, by the way, shout out Bradley, because you said yourself that, oh, we're going to connect so well and this podcast is going to be amazing. Bro, I feel like me and Kenny are living the same fucking life, because every single story that he tells, I'm like, bro, did I have that as a dream, or like did I live that exact same shit? Because I literally in Lisbon had this happen with one at one point when in Lisbon, when I had like a two girlfriend setup. I had a girl from Mexico and a girl in Brazil. And bro, the Mexican girl, when I pulled her back to my place, right? And the next day after she left, well, I'm a gentleman, I call her an Uber shit. And bro, I thought, and at this point I should have fucking checked. I'm not gonna lie. This was a big fumble from me, but it turned out to be fine. It turned out to be just fine. I dated her for like half a year after this. I thought that she had left like her panties in my laundry basket, right? So I sent her a picture of them being like, oh, haha, yeah, well, you left the souvenir here, so you might as well be coming back soon. So, something like that. I forgot what bullshit I was spitting. Dog. Apparently she hasn't even bought that brand in her fucking life. Apparently they ain't hers, and I was just like, oh, well, you know, things happen. And
not to cut you off. Bro, all my players, if any players watching this, anything you find in your house from a girl, throw it out,
bro.
Throw it out.
Don't leave that shit, bro. If you have a dog, use some fucking carpet rollers, bro. Like, get that shit up out of there. Honestly,
bro,
like,
if you find panties, if you find a hair tie,
never, bro.
If you find a ring, if you find anything, don't try to ask, "Hey, is this yours?" No, just throw it out. And she lost it. It did.
Bro, she lost it, and you never saw that. You never saw that shit. And by the way, even if it is hers, you know what's crazy? She might even forget that it's hers, and she might like have something to say about that on its own. So,
or test you,
bro. It cannot go well. And by the way,
it's not hers.
Bro, yeah. No, I love the fact that you said about the testing because, by the way, free game. Anyone who has not read The Way of the Superior Man, read that shit immediately. Like, that's the Bible of all this masculine energy stuff. If you talk about sort of the beginning of that book, a major element that they talk about is the tests that women provide you and the fact that it never ends. It's not something you can win. It's not a battle that succeeds and then over the rest of the relationship you're good. But you are never good. So in a way, you have to be on your toes a little bit because those tests are a natural part of her reaching out and feeling your masculinity. You are that rock and she's feeling out with her hand like, oh, are you there? Are you there? And that makes her feel secure in the relationship. So she's never going to stop doing it. But you need to know that the passing of every single one of those tests is always the counterintuitive option. You never do what she asks you to do. I'm sorry, the feminist will flip out on me, but you will never do what she asks of you because she will always ask you to do the thing that she is testing for. Okay, whatever she asks of you, always ask, is this actually incongruence with the frame? And if the answer is no, you don't do it, period, no matter how she is asking you to do it. You don't do it, period. She'll ask you to do all kinds of stuff that she would be less attracted to you for if you actually did it. Like, imagine this. A soldier is leaving for the Second World War. You're on those porch steps. You know, you have your uniform on. You got your gun with the baton at the end. Like, you know, you're ready. You're ready to go. You have your ammunition. You're going. The train is waiting for you. Your woman, bro, your wife, has she ever cried harder? The kids are weeping. She's begging you to stay. She's finding every reason in the book for you to not go fight for your country. Imagine if you were like, you know what, honey? Fine, and went back in the house.
Pussy would dry up.
Bro, she would be like, oh, okay. Like, bro, most guys would think she would keep crying because of happiness. Bro, she would be like, what the fuck is happening? Like, this is the man that I'm supposed to be. Like, bro, fuck no. What are we talking about? Go on the train, go to the front, come back 6 months later, and you will have a waterfall like no other. I'm telling you, if you actually go forward with that masculine mission, and then after that, you let her meet you, bro. And guys always think that they should go along with it. Like, you wake up with the girl, oh, you know, let's stay in bed. It's 7 a.m. You don't need to go to the gym yet. Let's have some fun. Bro, go to the gym, come back. Bro, you open the door. You won't get your shoes off, bro, when you come back. I'm telling you, like, if you just continue with that mission, she will want you at the end and she will want you 10x more. That's the way to not lose respect. You don't tolerate disrespect and you keep going with that mission. She will want you more. It doesn't matter how much, you didn't see me for 3 days. If you're doing some important shit, that is good. If you're sitting on the couch playing Xbox, fuck no, the pussy dries up. So just do the masculine shit that you would think a man of that caliber would do anyway. It never fails. Never, ever.
And that's so deep, bro, because in that example, like, there's no, like, that is the most, like, a woman could communicate that she really wants you to do something or not do something. Like, the tears, the begging not to go.
Yes.
And if you do that, you're cooked. Let alone something like, small. You know what I'm saying? Something like, oh, I really want you to stay here, or I really want to go here. Like my rule of thumb is like always be self-reflecting and make sure that you are a man that you respect. When you look in the mirror, you see a respectable man, and always move in accordance to what you want to do. If you want to do something for the girl, cool, then you do it. But never do something you don't want to do because you want to make a woman happy. That's what I do. Sometimes it may come off counterintuitive to the peak community, right? But me, I don't give a damn if I do something, if I genuinely want to do something nice for her, right, and that causes her to lose respect for me, cool, and she leaves, cool. I can have another. Like yeah. I really don't care, and I think that in itself has gotten me a lot of things as well, because I'm not afraid to treat a girl nice or sweet or do something sweet for her. But if I don't feel like going somewhere, but she wants to go somewhere, we're not going somewhere. She's going by herself. If she wants me to do something, or she wants me to not do something, if she wants me to give up my hoes or get into a monogamous committed relationship with her, and I don't want to do that, I want to have her and I want to have this other girl too, or be with this, I'm not doing it because, oh, I really love her. So even though I don't want to get rid of my other girls, I'm going to do it because I love her. The second you do it is the second you lose all respect.
Bro, that sentence on its own is, bro, that sentence right there is the antithesis of what you should do in that masculine fella. Oh, I'm going to give up everything that's true to me because I love her so much, bro. That sentence to any, bro, any respect that you had remaining up to that point is gone instantly. And guys, they never, bro, they realize this when the marriage ends in divorce. Like they realize this when the shit really hits the fan and it's absolute disaster for all parties involved. They don't want to realize this early on in the relationship. And I think that the vast majority of guys have actually completely disconnected from sort of like that primal understanding of what it actually means to be man to woman in a relationship. They go off of the societal implications. They go off of the financial, the family things, the friends, the da-da-da. Bro, 100,000 years ago, forest, rocks, man, woman, what the fuck is going on? Like, that is what we're still operating in terms of basic psychology. Things have not evolved past that point. And by the way, for anybody interested in this of, if women are all of a sudden these, modern, sophisticated angels who want roses all the time, there was some research done in the early days of Google in the 2000s, which would now be really illegal because it's against data privacy laws. But back then, there were no laws like that. So the researchers at Google took all the searches of women's adult entertainment searches, and they analyzed all of that, like what women were watching everywhere in the world, hundreds of millions of them. And bro, we are right, is all I'm going to say when it's based on that research. Like the archetypes that come from that research are the fact that the man has to be above her in some sense where it is a dominance relationship, period. Like there were shit like billionaires, werewolves, stuff like that. Bro, that is truly what it is. And just look at the books that women are buying. Like look at women's literature. I'm saying, bro, they think that men watch that shit, women read that shit, is all I'm saying. Like you don't even know what's in those pages until you open that and you're like, oh my god, they have this at a public library. Like you would never believe there are no movies or books like that about a sweet innocent schoolboy who buys a fucking box of chocolates and goes to the other class. That's what like 12-year-olds watch, okay, on Netflix in the kids section. What grown women like. Once again, monetization, but I'm just letting guys know that you need to at some point check this out, because when you're watching it as a guy, I did this because I really wanted to find out at one point. To you, it is extremely cringe. Like it is hard to watch because like this is gay as hell. What am I doing? like it feels so uncomfortable for you as a heterosexual male. But I'm telling you, for the women, bro, if you were to apply that, you would never go back. You would never, like it's
I'm so happy for you, bro.
You will never, bro. You will never.
You are so gamed up, bro, at such a young age, bro. I'm so happy for you. Like, it
Well, I
took me
appreciate
so
it. I really
long.
do.
It
I
took me a
appreciate that.
minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, first, just to touch on women's sexuality, right? Men have been conditioned and indoctrinated to believe that men are the horny, like super, like fiend for sex creatures, bro. Like you said, look into the
Bro,
women's literature. Look what they're reading, look what they're watching, bro. They have stores full of all of their toys, mad contraptions, mad machinery, just for them to get themselves off. Like
bro.
they're craving for an orgasm is unmatched to men's. It's not even close. It's not
Bro,
even close.
it's unmatched. It's actually insane. Like, you know why you've never heard of a girl doing nofap?
Bro, a lot of them do it every day.
Bro,
But when they
every day is a fucking
themselves,
understatement. Like,
when they present themselves
yeah,
in society, though, they're these super sweet and I don't do that. I don't do sex on the first day. Oh, I'd like to take my time, bro.
bro.
And the only reason they do this is because men suffer from the Madonna whore complex. You know what I'm saying? So it's like with the Madonna whore, the side of you that likes the sexual woman, the, you know what I'm saying, the super freaky woman. Most men have the idea of I want to smash her, but I would never wife her. I would smash her, but I would never take care of her and invest in her and all of these things. And men are so open about this that women understand. Oh, if I want this guy long term, if I want this guy to provide for me, if I want this guy to take care of me, if I want this guy to invest in me, I cannot portray myself in a way that appeals to his sexual nature. I need to appeal to his protective, nurturing nature of the pure woman. But whole time, she's a whore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you said it, not me. You said
it. They're massive splits. It's like one part of you here and is there, and the other part of you is there. And like you're saying, like as men and as women, we have such a massive split that you think that these two aspects of people, they're two different people, right? And so I've had, friends come to me and they're like, it's like my woman isn't sexually satisfying me. Like she's this and that, and she's perfect and she's caring and she's this and that. But this part, like we're lacking in that department. And I'm like, you're just not bringing it out of her. And he's like, no. That's not in her. Like she's not like that. And I'm like, she's like that. And also, I talked to someone who's actually who's 30 about this, and he's like, when he was younger and in college, like got around a lot. He has slept with a lot of women, and then in his relationships, on the one night stands that he likes to do, it's like, all right, it's the animalistic sex. But he's like, well, when I'm in a relationship, he's like, I can't fuck her like that. And it's like this is just the most
guys,
massive.
Oh my god, it's done. It's done. You have to. What the fuck are you gonna do if you don't do that, bro?
But I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there, bro. It's like,
man,
bro. I've been, and I remember when I was first learning about these things, right? It's like I remember watching the video, and this guy was like, he was kind of demonstrating how to really talk to a girl in that kind of manner, you know what I'm saying, or in a certain seductive, like raw way that gets women really turned on. And I remember consciously with the girlfriend that I had, if I were to try to do this tonight, it would be cringe. Yeah. It would be weird, like, because of the relationship dynamic that we had. If I were to be like, hey, who's your daddy? Like, it would just be because I'm not that guy. I wasn't that guy. Or she'll probably look at me like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was so sweet and I was so like, I've never tapped into that to appeal to her other side of attraction. Yeah, I felt like it would have came off cringy. And it's once you're already there, once you kind of already have that dynamic set up, I don't want to say the relationship's cooked, bro. I don't want to say that, but a part of me believes like, bro, she already has an idea of you as this, harmless, sweet, nice guy who would never want to harm her in any way, shape, or form, and always wants to respect her and always doesn't want to call her out of her name. But it's like girls want to be degraded. And it's like if you don't start with a certain tone, if you don't set the foundation of the relationship with that at least you are that type of guy, or at least has the capabilities of being that guy, it's kind of cooked because her idea of you is already solidified. It'll be weird and cringe if you try to do the other way. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, it's so much easier to get it from the get-go rather than fixing it. So many of these things are like, oh, when she met you, how were you? That's a big part of this. And also, guys will change, especially I feel like this is a thing in longer term relationships where and by the way, this is the ultimate test. I think if there's one test that girls will give guys that they all fucking fail and they all lead to divorce, this has to be the one. We're together now. Let's take the steps. They want to throw out the fucking leather jacket that you got when the first time that you guys were together, you came to pick her up in a motorcycle and you were wearing this cool ass vest. And now it's in your closet 6 years later. And she's like, you don't even wear this. And she's trying to throw it out. Bro, if she's throwing the marriage out with that fucking leather jacket, she wants you because you were a certain way. Why the fuck are you changing it? She wanted you the time that she got to know you. If you change that, guess what? So does the attraction. Guys will do one thing and it works, and then they'll change that shit. Okay, this is also like something
because of what the woman asks him to do.
Exactly, and then they believe it, and then it's fucked. They will rather please the woman in the short term rather than actually please her long term. Look at any time that they actually have that kind of alpha dominance relationship with a guy, that guy is doing things that these men wouldn't dare, bro. They don't even think that. That guy will go on a 1 week work trip. The girl can't come with him because guess what? It's work related. You can't always be together. That guy will prioritize certain things to make that mission possible. That guy will tell her to her face, do this. There is no, let's have a round table and then we'll have a pen and whoever holds the pen is talking. Bro, the pussy is never getting wet again. It's dry and it's staying that way. At that point, dog, if she has you by the balls to that degree, like you said, I don't want to say no situation is absolute beyond change, but damn close at that point.
There is no compromise in relationships. There's only flexibility.
One
of my coaches has this beautiful example he gives. He's like the joint in your arm. He's like, okay, most people in relationships are here, and the woman is saying, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, and it compromises your values. So what are you doing? You're going like this, and you keep going, but my arm doesn't actually go. It doesn't naturally go anymore. But I keep going because of what? I want to please her. Then my arm breaks, and I was like, okay, we're fucked now. Now the relationship is cooked. And what you could do is you can be flexible, right? It's like you're here, and she's like, hey, can we do this together? So you could consider it. It's like, okay, we can go back and forth like this. But once you get to this point, and then you start compromising on your values, exactly what you just said. The reason as to why she's with you is now the reason that you're throwing out the door, because you're no longer an individual person that gives a shit about anything at all. And you simply prioritize her, which prioritizing your woman is exceptional and required. But when there's nothing else going on, it's like, okay, well, a part of the reason as to why she was attracted to you is because, okay, you have passions in your life. You like to talk about certain things. You like to do these things. And then I talked to a woman about a year ago on my podcast, and we were talking about this of this guy I was dating started compromising literally everything about him. It's like when I first met him, he would go to the gym every day at 8 a.m. or every day at this time. And then when we started getting serious, he's like, I don't need to go to the gym anymore. Let's just hang out. And she's like,
over one done. No, bro, that is the death trap.
The woman's objective. The woman's objective is to get your boss, like you were saying.
Yeah,
they're constantly trying to get full grasp of your balls at all times. Once she gets that, it's like you beat the game. And I like to connect it to I don't know if you guys have seen this video I dropped, but once you beat the game, you look for another game to play. You know what I'm saying? And it's like there's
Yes,
certain
bro.
games that are really dope, like GTA. Let's say like GTA 5, if you guys have played it. Story mode. You're mad intrigued, doing all the missions, and it's like it's a good time because you're aiming to get to the end. You're aiming to finally fulfill the end of that story, or even like in a TV show. It could be a long show, has like 8 seasons, and like you're engaged because it's you're being taken on this trip. If you want your woman long term, there can't ever be an end, right? There can't ever once there's that end, once they fully have a grasp of your balls, which is essentially them beating the game. That's how they look at it. They naturally feel the need to go on another quest, or you find another game to play, which is why games like Fortnite are elite, because you can never beat Fortnite. You can get a victory in it, but there's constantly new things popping up. There's always a new map. There's map changes. New guns are switching up. New skins, and you're constantly having a different experience. But you can never really win. You can never really beat it, which is why it's still super popular to this day. It's super elite. And even with like GTA 5. Say again?
I said that's brilliantly said. Like there's games you can beat, and there's games that go on forever, and those are the ones that people grind. Like no one has 10K hours on GTA 5. Like that,
not the story mode. Like, yeah, but GTA 5 is still relevant today and still being played today because of the online.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Because that does go on forever.
Online.
Exactly.
So that's what it kind of is, and it's like they have to believe that there is an end. They have to believe that there is a goal, dream, position that she will get with you, and it may not be politically correct. Whether it's moral or not is up to the viewer.
Bro, we ain't politically correct here. We're no politically correct here. By the way, massive shout out to my guys in the chat. Massive shout out. Go ahead, man.
Hey, the most game savvy thing to do is to at least create the illusion that she will beat the game eventually. Now, bitch, you're not beating the game. You're over here, you're not beating the game. You know, like to a lot of women, it's marriage. Unfortunately, it's like, okay. I mean, the best case scenario is that you at least drag on this play for as long as possible, if you really want that monogamous love thing to last. You know, start out, hey, y'all just getting to know each other, y'all friends, y'all cool. It should be a long time before she gets a girlfriend title. Just a girlfriend.
Facts. Bro, they be introducing down the day. Like, that's insanity. To me, that's insanity.
You should never ask her, for one.
No, absolutely
you should
not.
never be proposing any of these advancements. It should be the woman. But if at least she doesn't get to at least that, boy, you are my girlfriend. You are my position after a lot of time and investment that she has put in on her end, right? Then it's like, cool, but you still moving in a way like, you my girl, but you don't have me. You know what I'm saying? Completely. Then it takes time to get to the fiance engaged point, then marriage. Like, do y'all have interest in getting married? I want to ask y'all that. That's a question.
Bro, look, legal and spiritual on this are completely different. And I've told this to every single girl that I've seen as like genuinely potential. I've had many girls say like they want to have children with me, and that's the kind of ultimate thing that I consider when it comes to these kind of arrangements. Is I ain't legally getting married, fucking never, bro. Absolutely fucking not. I think any man who does is off his knocker and crazy. That like just no logical argument for doing it the legal way. Your taxes get fucked. The courts come after you. Like no, absolutely not. However, on a spiritual level, when it comes to the love between two people, absolutely. Like I see myself doing things like, you know, the romantic aspects, ceremony, etc. I see that absolutely, but the government will have no say when it comes to me, my wife, nothing. So I think in terms of an agreement, in terms of the spiritual level of it, I think it's wonderful. But look, back when it was the church, shit was good. When it came to the state, that's where they fucked it up. That's when they made it that it became more so a weaponization of lawfare rather than an actual arrangement between people and God and the love that they share. So personally, I think that there should be zero laws with marriage. I think it should be given back to the church. But as long as that's not the case, yes, but not legally. That's my answer.
Okay. So eventually one day you see yourself devoting your life and commitment and making that covenant to a woman to be faithful to her and to provide for her, take care of her for the rest of your life and her life until death do you guys part. You just not gonna sign any paperwork.
I think absolutely I would be down. Like for me, I see, especially if I'm having kids with a woman, especially if I'm now, I'm building a family, I'm creating a legacy for my offspring. Absolutely, I will take care of that woman until, one of us dies. 100%, I see that's my mission. I think one of, if not the longest term goal for my life is to be a great father and to lay a legacy for the next generation of my family. I think that's absolutely beautiful. I think it's courageous. And I think it's something that every man should aspire to be. And look, I want to build a large legacy. I want a lot of children. I'll see how, what kind of setup with women I have to make that happen.
With one woman? This is with one woman?
Well, I mean, look, if it takes 9 months, I think you're slowing me down a little bit. So look, we'll see. But I think, I mean, look, we got to speed it the fuck up. I'm a busy man. There's things to do, there's places to be. But however this happens, however this goes down, I do see myself absolutely being a father and absolutely dedicating myself to that mission. I think that's going to be beautiful. But
exclusively to one woman, though, or you do you see yourself marrying multiple women?
I think that's a possibility. Yeah, I think that's a possibility in the future. I'll see, because I mean, look, for me, I'm not looking at it from a legal perspective at all. I'm looking at it from a love perspective. I'm looking at it from a children perspective. I'm looking at it based on a perspective of how I want my children to be treated, the opportunities I want to give to them. If I have kids with a woman, then my absolute priority in all things will be the children. And I mean, I hope she thinks the same way. I would only want to have kids with a woman like that. So however it turns out, I think from a biological imperative, I think there's many opportunities and there's many ways to look at it. But when it comes to men, the primary objective is procreation and building a legacy. When it comes to women, the primary objective is finding the top guy. Okay. That's point blank, period. And like a man, quite literally during his lifetime could have probably a few million kids. A woman can only have a few. That's just how it is. That's biology. And I don't think we should be fighting against nature. I think fighting against nature is where most of this stuff goes wrong, because we try and think that, we're these sophisticated people and we're above our animal nature. We're absolutely not. And I think everything should be based on honesty. Everything should be based on framework. Everything should be based on the way that you want to conduct yourself. But just as a public service announcement, guys, don't do the fucking paperwork, please. Honestly, fucking terrible.
Okay. So you guys heard it here first. Nilo is not a one-woman man.
No, you're throwing me under the bus again. Yeah, yo, clip it up, put it on my Instagram, spam it to me, everybody. I'm cooked forever.
How about you, Brad?
You heard it here first.
Oh, I have spent years going back and forth on this concept. I about 2 years ago, I convinced myself, I'm like, I'm never getting married. Absolutely not. And similarly to Nilo's perspective on the legal side of it, it's like I'm still very on the fence about that. But in terms of being with one woman for the rest of my life, that I am for. And there was a point in my past where I definitely was in the scene of what Nilo's talking about. And how do I say this?
You're trying to make it so you're not cooked like me. Like you're
no. It's not even that.
I think Bradley do.
No, Bradley, he's the saint over here, guys. Bradley never does anything bad. Bradley.
Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true.
I appreciate you for letting me borrow your Lambo too, though, last week, bro.
Yeah,
No,
I
bro,
love
no,
those.
for real,
I
for real.
love
Look,
those.
when I was bankrupt and I needed that 100 bands for me to get out of the debt, Bradley, look, this guy got me. Honestly, he's the man. Everybody on Instagram, shoot this guy a DM.
I was telling my girl this. After meeting her and how aligned we are, my perspective on a lot of things started to shift very quickly, because I started to get to the point where it was like, I had the perception, like most men do, of like, because I had women tell me like, oh, it's like when and it's like, like they're right for you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I really don't think so. And for the first time in my life, I feel a remnant of that. And look, I'm a conscious, logical human being, so I can't get to the point where I'm just like, okay, I engulf in my feelings and disregard everything else. But I've never been so certain about being with someone, and so my perspective on marriage is shifting towards a more positive direction. But the legal stuff, I'm still very, very against. If I ever were to get legally married, the prenup is it's there.
Mandatory. It's there.
Mandatory.
And again, and I've heard so many many guys like I can what?
I said unless she's a billionaire. Fuck.
Yeah, unless that.
She's a billionaire, if she's a billionaire, we don't need a prenup. We're never breaking up. Like
yeah. and
exactly. Why are you even thinking I would do something like that? Honestly, why are you challenging me? Like, it feels like you don't even trust me right now. And
exactly,
right.
Yeah.
What do you must really not love me.
Exactly. Right. Look, Kenny said it. That's what I'm saying. You must not really think of me that way then.
Right. And it's interesting because we try and look at love as the ideal, and we try and take the legality of things in the world that we've created that is much separate than love, and we try to integrate them together and pretend that they're the same, so that if I don't have this part, then like everything's fucked up, and it's like you don't want me. It's like, no, it's not that at all. But here's when we think about it logically, it's okay. At this current moment in time, and for this amount of years that we've been together, whatever, we feel this way about each other. We've established we love each other. We establish all these other things, and we line on everything. I'm a human being. You're a human being. Anything is possible. And it's not in the sense of like, hey, I'm expecting that something's going to go wrong 15 years from now when we're married. So like, that's why this needs to be in place. But it's also like, hey, if you decide to change your mind about me 15 years down the line, you're just like, Brad, I don't love you anymore. It's like, I would prefer to not spend the next 5 years fighting over our children and you taking all of the wealth that I've spent so much time building up. And so it's like it in my mind, it has nothing to do with the individual. Obviously, women view it in a different way. And my girl's sitting on my bed right now, so I've never had this conversation with her, so she might be sitting here right now, like, oh fuck, like what the fuck is wrong with Brad? All this stuff. So we'll see what happens.
You have no idea how much I relate. You have no idea. I'll tell you after the podcast. You have no idea how much I relate, bro. Absolutely crazy.
But I mean, it's because I'm with you on like I separate the legal from the spiritual, because I don't think they're the same. We have a man-made structure, and then we have love. And when you try and put the two together, look at what happens. Not everybody. We have a system in which over 50% of the system constantly fails, and we keep doing it over and over again, as if something's going to change while our culture continues to deteriorate, as dating starts to become more difficult and people can't even commit to each other in any facet. And we say, like, we're going to keep doing this thing, even though it's not working. And so James Sexton has this interesting point. He's like, when someone says they're getting married, what do you say? Congratulations, like amazing. Well, and you never go, why? Like things are going so good. Like, why are you bringing the government into this? And it's like, well, this is just what we're supposed to do. And
my mom is asking my friend. Oh my God, you've been together for 5 years. Are you gonna propose? Like, there's this pressure, there's this expectation. They're pushing it on you. They're all like everyone else is talking about it. So it's like it's that concept of like, a prison where the prisoners themselves are the guards because they guard each other, and nobody can break out of it because you're in the wrong environment. And this is the same with income. This is the same with physique. This is the same with everything else. You go with the normal around you, and this is why you have those concepts like the 5 friends that you hang out with the most, right? And I feel like most of it is from family, because those guys live in an antiquated version of reality, and they want to push that onto you because they think that it works. Like, this is the same as, your grandparents saying you should save money and you'll be rich, because why they worked before 1971 when there was no inflation and the gold standard was in place. So in the 50s, you could save up your way to like a Long Beach mansion. Like that was a thing. So now you can't. So they're pushing what worked back then, and they're trying to implement it now, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
Me, my biggest thing, man, I feel like marriage, it removes the only incentive a woman has to be a good woman to you, essentially. And that incentive is,
bro. You said it.
And that incentive is, bitch, I can leave you. That's the only reason she, like, that's her main reason for doing what I want her to do at all times, is because I can get rid of her and get another girl, and she would hate for that to happen. But if I make a promise to God and the government and everybody that no matter what, until I die, I'm gonna be here for you, it's like that.
Yeah, but you can do whatever.
That ceremony and technology in itself destroys the relationship. You making that promise to her that no matter what, better for worse, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. It's like she beat the game.
That's what exactly. Yeah, she got on that GTA Online, bro, and it's
bro. It's like, if you have the right woman, if you're with the right woman, because I don't like, the right woman is just a woman who likes you to a certain degree. There are no good women. There are no bad women. There's women who like you and admire you, and there's women who don't, or women who respect you, and then there's women who don't. But if you have a woman that respects you and admires you to the correct and healthy degree, she understands that she is not going to find another you easily. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
She treats you amazing, and she does what you tell her to do, and she makes your life easier and finds a way to save you time, energy, and money, because she values your spot in her life, or she values her spot in your life. And her recognizing your value and understanding just how women are, what women desire, and understanding all of the men that she has encountered and all the other men that her friends have encountered have been weak, low tier, dipshit people. She understands that you're rare, for one, and plenty of other women would love to be in the position that she is in. And she does not, and she knows every time you leave the house, every time you go to the gym, every time you go to work, every time you do any of your hobbies, there is a possibility that you could find another woman that would be more eager or more beneficial to have her spot than her. So she's constantly proving herself and proving her value in your life. But if you make the promise that I'm never going to leave, I'm never going to go anywhere, that danger of losing you is no longer there. And that in itself removes that incentive to continue to be a great woman for you, which is why it's something that I'm not. No. You need to know that at any given time, I can leave you, and I will leave you if you do not move under this certain framework, if you do not carry yourself in a certain way or behave in a certain way that I like. And if you don't, I will get another one, and she will have your spot instead. And I'm not about to forfeit that just because society says, yeah, get married, marry her. If he really loves you, he'd marry you. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I show my love for you, baby, all the time. And in multiple different ways and aspects that you obviously can perceive and understand, because you're still here. And you're still doing all the things you need to do consistently. So obviously you understand my value. Obviously you understand the love that I have for you and appreciation that I have for the things that you do for me. I don't need you don't need a piece of paper to do that. You don't need a big party to do that. If we, you know what I'm saying? We can throw a party, go crazy. But I'm not about to, and another thing about that as well is even if it's not with the law or the government or signing legal contracts, my word is everything. She trusts and respects me so much because of everything that I say and that comes out of my mouth and confess to her, she knows is the truth. And that the things that I say and profess or promise holds true weight. You know what I'm saying? My word is my everything. So if I tell you that no matter what, I'm not going anywhere, she's going to truly trust and believe that idea, which is detrimental, you know, but people's words don't be meaning shit. So they'll make covenants to God and all these other things just to get divorced 4 years later and fold on everything that they just promised. It's like, no, I don't know if I'm always going to be here. I don't know. I hope I am. I hope so. If you keep treating me how I like to be treated, and you know these things are good, I hope I'm here forever. I hope I don't have to go nowhere else. I hope I don't have to have no children with no other women. I hope so. Yeah. I don't know that, and if I don't know that for sure, I'm not gonna confess it with my words because it's all I have.
Yeah, like there's the saying, like, like as a man, your word is your bond. Right?
Exactly.
Your word is your value. So if, like, I feel like it is essential to the relationship framework that the girl knows that there is a fucking line. There is a line. And if that line is crossed, it doesn't matter what is happening. If that line is crossed and it's over. If there is no line, then believe me, that girl will keep running to find the line and she'll never find it until it's an absolute train wreck. She'll just keep going. And the imperative that she has towards that frame and towards good behavior and towards treating you like the man that she respects, admires, and loves is entirely contingent on your ability to actually be that guy. You can only keep up a facade for so long about the kind of man that you are. So I think that men should absolutely, in their essence and in the way that they carry themselves, be totally contingent upon building the kind of man that they want to be. However, you can't really fake it until you make it in all things. You really can, because there will come a time when push comes to shove, and it will show. It will show, even if it's, I mean, usually I think it's actually one of her tests when push will come to shove and it will show. So you have to be ready for that. You absolutely have to be ready for that as a man. But just, I mean, think about it. Would she treat you, if it's something that you're displeased with, would she do this to the man of her actual dreams? Like, truly the man of her dreams that came out of her imagination, some dream that she has had that will rescue the princess that is her. Would she say this to him? And my guy, if that's not the case, then I'm sorry, you're dealing with a level of disrespect that you just can't tolerate. And the way to not get disrespect is to not tolerate it. Like, guys will tolerate this shit, and then they'll wonder why it keeps happening. And it's atrocious. Anyone who's ever seen even a few clips of those dating podcasts, like the Whatever podcast and some of these bigger ones, where occasionally you'll see couples on there. You know, like you'll see the boyfriend, you'll see the girlfriend. Oh my God. Like that guy, he looks castrated. Like you can just look at the guy.
The main dude.
And you're like, my God, bro. Like it brings, man, it brings sadness. It brings sadness to my mind to even think of these guys. They'll be there, and the girl's talking shit about him, berating him. Like, man, it's and it's public, Any man with any degree of self-respect would call it out right then and there. I don't care if we're on a podcast. When I'm on a podcast, my girls will treat me very well. Believe me, it's like nothing like that will ever occur. And I will tell you guys what I mean after the pod. But the level that you have to hold for yourself cannot be budged. It doesn't matter how bad she is. It doesn't matter what you're trying to get. If you aren't ready to walk away from the table, there is no deal, period. Like that is the number one rule of negotiating. If she knows that you have to take it, nah, completely over. And her standard will always be better than her too. Like guys will forget this. Every single girl only goes up in terms of any hierarchy that she looks for. Hypergamy is in the nature of every single female on this planet. And there's nothing you can do to change that. Guys ask me all the time, like, what's the standard for this? What's the standard for this? The answer is always more than her. That's always the answer. Oh, how tall do you need to be? Taller than her. Oh, how much money should you have? Oh, more money than her. And this is ideal. You don't need to check all the boxes. But this is ideally what she wants is a benefit to her life through your perspective and through your guidance. So she always looks for something more. And if you check that, like a girl that is, I don't know, 5'1", a 5'3" guy will, to a degree, fill that desire that she has for physical dominance, etc. But the higher up she goes, the higher that bar goes. And that's why a lot of these guys, they simply cannot afford, from a mental point of view, from a game point of view, they can't actually afford to date the women they want to date, because even if it lasts a few days, even if it lasts a few weeks, the facade breaks and then they reveal like, oh, fuck, I do actually think of myself as a loser. I am not worthy. And then when that comes out, now it's over.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting how the way you view yourself completely changes absolutely everyone else's perspective on you, especially the girl that you're with. And yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's also that conversation of the hypergamy is very interesting, because it's like the question of like someone that's out there that is better than you. And so it's like that's the other thing with the commitment aspect of it's like there's all like the level of security and trust that your woman needs in you to be able to like be like, okay, like we're together, but like we don't have the contract. It's like I'm trusting that we're in this, right? But it's like, okay, well, we're legally bonded now, and if you decide to leave me, like I'm gonna take half your shit and take your kids with me. So it's like I have something to hold over you. If I don't have anything to hold over you, it's like the level of love that is connected between you two, if it's there, it's like that is it's unfathomable to 99.9% of us. And you know, it's also the conversation of the, you know, making more money and being tall and stuff like that. And because that's something I heard before I started interacting with women in my life, and I started to generalize and be like all women are the same. Like, yeah, that's not me, so I'm not gonna be able to get girls, because it's like I'm 5'6", right? There's always gonna be a guy that's taller than me. In fact, most of my friends and most people that I interact with when my girl is standing next to me is taller than me. And so if there ever came a point, and Kenny, you did a video on this, which I thought was fucking brilliant, because I haven't heard anyone talk about it, which is if I'm with her and she looks at somebody else and says, I think they're better than Brad, I want to be with them, go ahead.
Cool.
I don't want to hold you down, right? But it's like, if that shows that you don't find me valuable, right? But if you find me valuable, you can look at somebody else and be like, they're taller than Brad. Am I a biological human being that finds people attractive? Like, yeah, like I could look at someone else when I'm in a relationship and say, oh yeah, they look attractive. But it's like, am I in any capacity willing to give up who I have this bond, alignment, and connection with for somebody who looks decent, but they're probably nowhere near in all of the qualities and factors of what this person provides for me? It's like, the answer is probably not, but it's like, you always want to allow the person to be able to do it. And like I advise guys, like it's like if you have a thought that it's like your girl is doing something or she's going to go to this place and do it, like let her. And if it happens, then it happens, and you're doing yourself a favor, because if you were to say like, hey, that's the whole, you know, the whole conversation of what I talk to people about, like it's an illusion. Everything is an illusion of control. If she or he wants to do something, they're going to find a way to do it. And if you put physical barriers in the way of them doing it, eventually, even if it's 5, even if it's 15 years down the line when you're married, she'll find that little opening and squeeze her way through, and now your relationship is completely done. But no, it didn't take that specific guy to take your girl. It's no, your girl was never fucking yours, and you were sitting under the illusion that it's like, oh, she loves me, she cares about me, she's never gonna leave me. It's like, no, her eyes are always looking somewhere else, and if you have that girl, let her go, because she's already gone.
Bro,
which is the
new man was never the new man. You just never knew, man.
Never knew.
Okay?
Oh shit.
Listen, Listen, bro. If it is that way, it has been that way, and you just didn't realize. It's not an overnight thing. You just didn't know how to read the signs. That's all.
Which is what earlier I was gonna comment on. You said, Anilo, that women are always looking for better, right? Than themselves, or they're always looking to date up. They don't always date up, but ideally that's what they want. So a woman cannot have any prospects that are better, that are really checking for her, right? She really wants this guy over here that has these things going for himself, that looks in this way, or carries himself in this way. But she's not attracting that guy. That guy, he got better options. He's not really paying her no mind. But she has this sucker over here who's all right. I'm not really excited about him. He invited to take me out to dinner. He's willing to buy me things and do nice things for me. So sure. And they'll shack up with that guy until they gain the opportunity or the game prowess
until I'm telling you, bro. No, girls in those relationships are fucking single, bro. They never truly settle with a guy like that. They actually, I think that's great that you pointed that out. They will go by logistics. They will get the best guy that's available.
Yes.
They'll get the best guy that's available to their certain logistics and their circumstance, but they will never be satisfied unless they think that you are actually of the caliber that they are capable of attracting. And this is not like me flexing at all. Because I've heard girls say things like, I think that you are the best man that I could have. Like things like that. If she genuinely holds the perspective that you are the pinnacle of her capability, it does not mean that every single aspect about you has to be the possible highest. You don't have to be a 6'8" billionaire with all this shit. But if in that frame you are the best option, then she will go by that. It's the problem now that it becomes global. She got the guys in Dubai, trying to fly her out. That didn't exist in the 80s. In the 80s, you had to be the best guy out of the school class. You had to be the best guy on the football team. You had to be the best guy of a small pond. Now the pond is fucking massive. So it's no longer enough to be I don't know, an emerging plumber, with a few funny jokes down at the pub. That worked when the pond is small. So you need to position yourself in a way where even in a much, much larger competition, you're still ranking in a way where those girls see you that way.
Right. You need to be like you just said. You don't got to be the best, but you have to be the best she can get, right? Or she at least has to believe it as truth in order for you to get this certain energy from a woman. But on top of that as well, right? A woman's perceived capabilities of a certain tier man that she can attract is also skewed, and it's an illusion, because a lot of girls believe that they can get quote unquote these certain type of guys who they can't. They can just smash these guys. The guy flying her out from Dubai, whatever. Yeah. So now she believes that this is the where she's at. Yeah, I can get guys who are on this level. No, you can't. You can smash guys on this level, but those guys are not wifing you. Yeah, those guys are not taking care of you. Those guys are not investing in you. Those guys are not trying to plan for the future with you and trying to have children with you and a family. So this is some player shit. We not qualifying ourselves to no bitch, but if you may need to spit it to her you think you like that, you really not like that.
Spit it out.
If I'm trying to really invest in really do something with you on a serious note, farther than just a sexual thing, you lucky, baby, and you need to treat it as such. Again, we not qualifying ourselves. We don't need to convince no girl, that we're their best option, but they can understand these certain things in conversation if you spit it in a certain way, or because this is real life. You know what I'm saying? This is real life. That's a real life truth and wisdom. You can verbalize or vocalize this wisdom of how men move and what men are truly going to invest in and what other guys aren't, or whatever, you can spit it in a way that's not trying to, degrade her or devalue her or come off like, you're trying to convince her that you're her best option, but it should be spoken. It speaks volumes. You feel what I'm saying?
It does. It does, absolutely.
But also what I was gonna say is I'm gonna remember. When I remember, I'm gonna stop you guys.
All good.
There was also there's also that thing I wanted, or it just made me think of it, and a part of the reason as to why that dynamic can work of like Nilo, multiple girlfriends, is because and not even taking it that far, but how other women perceive you is going to be a massive factor in how she views you. Because it's like, and this is also, we've probably all noticed this personally, and I've heard it in research before I actually noticed it, where it's like, okay, once you have a girlfriend, now it's like girls are, and it's like you're out in public. Like, why the fuck is everyone looking at me? It's like, because most guys are fucking weird and creepy, and it's like if you have a girl, not only if you have a girl, but if you have a girl that genuinely, like the way she looks at you and another woman looks at it, she's like, I want that. And I've never had that in any of my relationships. So there must be something about him. And this is where it gets the competitiveness and the nature comes out. And it's like, well, let me try and sleep with her boyfriend, or let me try and talk to him. Let me see what he's about. Like, why does she talk so highly about him? Right. And that's why women have to be exceptionally careful with who they tell, what they talk about their partner to the women that they're with. But this is also a good test, right? Because if you talk so highly about your boyfriend, and then one of your friends who you thought was your friend tries to, it's like, okay, well, does he take her up on it, or does he reject it? Right? It's like, okay, if he takes her up on it, it's like, okay, well, he was never mine. Like, this isn't gonna work. We're not actually in alignment. If he immediately rejects it, it's like, okay, like he is everything that I hoped that he was, and that I believed he was, and that I trusted he was. And now it's like, okay, things are even better. Now, again, I am not hoping that situation never happens to me or any of us. Like, you don't need to go through that situation to conceptualize it, but just thinking about it, it's like, okay, this whole dynamic, it's like, this shows you. And same thing with girls. It's like, you give her the opportunity to talk to other men. It's like,
that's what I was going to touch on.
Does she take up the opportunity? Right? You let her do exactly whatever she wants to do. And it's like, that's the thing. It's like, if we're all individual human beings, and it's like, if your needs aren't being met here, and Johnny's going to meet those, by all means.
We'll be happy.
Now, either way, like, look, if you've been with the girl for 5 years, like, the heartbreak that you're going to experience from that is fucking massive regardless. But it's like, long term, like, you could either choose, you could see her taking interest in Johnny and then stop her from interacting with Johnny. What happens 10 years down the line when you're married and Johnny's your friend, but Johnny comes over to grill with you guys sometimes and spends time with the kids. And of course, you trust your wife to spend time with Johnny. I mean, Johnny's your best friend, right? What happens?
I mean, if Johnny was a real nigga, he wouldn't do it. But
right,
exactly,
right.
Exactly.
But you wouldn't even want to even be in a situation where you would even consider,
exactly. You don't park your Lambo in the hood. Like, if you have something valuable, then obviously you're not even going to take the chance with that. If I have like an expensive car, I'm not going to let thieves just go up to it, with like a fucking coal hammer and pick it through the window.
I'm with Kenny on that one.
I would though, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like the big point that I was gonna touch on is, like we said, lying is a crime against the soul. So is mate guarding. Mate guarding is a crime against your own self-value. So mate guarding is like, I remember I went to this pool party.
I'm John.
Jack in the chat said, I'm Johnny.
God, bro. Get Jack on the pod. Get Jack on the pod. We like this guy.
Jack in the chat said, I'm Johnny.
Yeah, I'm Johnny.
real nigga.
And I'm guessing Johnny ain't that real friend that Jack's talking about. I'm guessing that's
But
not the guy. I'm guessing that's not
I
the guy
went
at
to
all.
this pool party, right? Me and my mans, we pull up in there. I'm always clean. I'm always fresh. You feel me? Immediately, almost immediately, bro, another dude that I like. I'm cool with. I'm not too cool with him, but he like, you know, we dap each other up like, yo, we cool, you know. He's like, yeah, bro, this girl over here, like she's mine, like, or not even. She wasn't even his girl. He was just letting us know that this girl, without saying it, he was pretty much letting us know that she was off limits and that he was trying to get with this girl tonight, right? Which communicated to me, it's like, you're trying to let me know that, oh, leave this girl alone because you believe that she'll probably like me if I go and talk to her. Or like you know what I'm saying? Which is why a lot of guys, they won't even, like, they'll hate guys who are good with women, or they'll hate guys who are really attractive, or that a lot of girls like, because they look at you as a threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
I was thinking about this because, bro, Nilo, you just come off super confident and like
I appreciate that, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, bro, like you can get any girl you want, essentially, right? Now, I'm having bro, if you pulled up, bro, fire. But I'm throwing a pool party for my birthday, me and my mans, and we having like a lot of people pop out. We got like this 10-bedroom B&B, some big shit, right?
Dog.
Bro,
that's the kind of stuff I do pull up to. Absolutely,
bro. It's just slide, bro. But yeah, I was thinking like there's gonna be hella girls in there, hella of us, of my guys and stuff. And it's like, if I did have one of my girls there, right? Like, I would never tell anyone. I wouldn't tell you. I wouldn't tell Brad. I wouldn't tell none of my mans who my girl is. I wouldn't even tell them. And I know that you
frame testing, like you're frame testing, like, oh, would she actually hold up that for you, right? Yeah.
Yes, like I don't fear losing her. Two, if she's able to be taken, she's not mine. She's not for me. If like I'm not gonna say I would encourage you to try and steal my Lambo.
Yeah, because I was thinking like, oh, you would like, oh yeah, wait, you see that go, like, yeah, go talk to her, and then I found out that's your bitch. Like, I don't know.
No, I'm not gonna encourage her or set a test up. Oh, I'm gonna go do this to see if she's loyal to me. Like, no, I'm just gonna be chilling, and it's like I'm gonna let things happen naturally. And if she truly is for me, there's no other dude in the spot that she would want to even risk looking like she's talking to in a romantic way. You know what I'm saying?
I get your perspective.
If she really is for me, you feel me? And I only want girls who really are for me. If my man's Nilo pop out and he putting that mouthpiece on her and she, you know what I'm saying, she get turned on, she like him, cool. She was a better fit for Nilo. And if when you operate with love, like I was saying, I think to Brad, like, when it really is love, when you really operate with love, when you really have love within yourself and you have love for the girl, you only want the girl to be happy. You only want the girl to be in her best position. And if she believes that it would be in her best interest to be with Nilo and not Ken, I'm happy for you. You know what I'm saying? I would prefer that.
That I do get, bro. If you are mad at your exes, bro, your game's trash. Your game's trash. All my exes love me. Like, if you actually you're breaking, girls' hearts on bad terms, and like, bro, that's low level game. That's really low level game. A lot of guys think that they're doing this player shit when in reality they're operating at a really, really low level. Like, I've even heard of guys saying like, oh yeah, man, I pulled this girl, and like, I'm never talking to her again. Like, bro, that's low level. That's low level. You lost. You pulled the girl and you couldn't retain her. Your retainment is trash. Like, you're just flexing that you can't retain.
Churn rate is 100%.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Your churn rate is way too high. Like, go to fucking business school. You can't retain these girls, and that's why you're flexing. Like, oh, I don't never talk. That's not a flex, bro. That's not a flex. Your game is trash. And a lot of guys, they really hide behind this. I've seen it. They really hide it. Like, they're trying to make it seem as if they're way cooler than they are. When in reality, we do that for most of the things that we just don't think we could. Like we say, like, oh, I don't really even care about this sport. I don't even care about this pursuit because we're jealous of the people that are really good at it. That's usually what it is, because hate never comes from up top. So if you're hating, you're trying to pull these people down, then you're just making it as a position where you don't really know how. And I've seen that so much. Bro. And girls, I found, if they really are like that, as you mentioned, really for you, I like that term, actually. In that frame, dog, there is... the chances are basically non-existent. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, if you ask a girl, like, oh, you and your dad, who've been married for, who knows how many years. Yeah, is your mom hanging around with like a bunch of dudes at the pub on a given Saturday? Like, is that what's going on? And they'll be offended. They'll be like, oh, what? No, how could you speak that way about my mom? I'm like, you're a grown woman too. Crazy idea, right? Crazy idea. But if we're operating as grown adults here, then how about you take some example? So, and that's what I'm saying. They never think about it from that perspective on, because they're so used, especially if that family dynamic is solid in her family. They're so used to it being that stable. They're so used to it being healthy that they would never even consider it for them, for that kind of thing to be going on. But then for themselves, they don't find themselves in the same circumstance. So somehow they don't apply the same. Like, that's a double standard if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, a lot of people want they want the piece of the cake, and then they want the whole cake, and then they want the other cake that's next door, and then they want every cake on planet Earth.
They want one down the fucking aisle. Yeah,
that's me.
I need every cake. We have many Johnnies, bro. We have many Johnnies on this pod right now.
Fucking Johnnies everywhere.
But honestly, bro, I'm gonna be real. If your friends are like that, you have the wrong friends. Like, with the guys that I truly trust, the guys that I know for. I had a friend actually a few hours back sending me this video that he saw on Instagram, where it mentioned that you have 6 p.m. friends and you have 3 a.m. friends, right? You got the friends that you can call at 6 p.m. They'll come around, they'll chill. And then you got the friends that, 3 a.m., you're going to fucking die, they pull up. Those are the kind of friends that you should be rolling around. Those are the men that your brotherhood should be reserved for. If you have friends where you're thinking that you could not leave this guy alone with like a main girl of yours, what in the world are you like? That dude is operating on a level of scarcity that you don't even want that around you.
That's
right?
most
that poisons the well. Yeah. It's, you should get away from that.
It's most men, bro. And this is where I have that narcissistic arrogance to me, because I've had so many conversations with men, and not from a looks place, not from a money place, from a character place. Niggas are not solid. Men are not solid people. You know what I'm saying? If their best friend, like girls, it is a common thing for if a girl feels disrespected or gets done wrong and breaks up, they go and smash his best friend. The fact that this is even common ability for women to do shows and speaks volumes to what most men's character and principles lie. And they don't have any,
bro.
They don't have any principles.
Bro, that's a conversation. They ain't ready for that conversation. Like, that is the root of the issue. That's the root of the issue with women. It only
it's men's fault. Everything is men's fault.
Yeah, we put up with it. Like, imagine if men just collectively signed an agreement to get our shit together. Like, all of this fuckery would stop. Everything that is the modern issues, right, of all this. Like, we talk about the degradation of the dating culture, it is because men accept it. If you went in, go to the 1960s and some of these girls tried to pull the thing that they're doing today, they would not be able to date any high-level men. Now there's I've seen professional boxers at the top of the global rankings, and their girl has an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I feel like I live in a simulation. Like, how is that the best you can do, buddy? How is that the best you can do?
And to take it even further, the fact that women are able to even make a living off of OnlyFans is men's fault. For this shit?
Who is paying? I want to know, how are these random no-name girls making like 10 mil a month?
Millions of men.
Take away the bank accounts of these motherfuckers. Who are these people? Like,
most men, 90% of men.
Bro,
you know what else?
Like, really, that has to be. You have to be right.
You know what else? Those men, if one of 3 of us came to them and approached them with our coaching program, every objection in the book.
Every
To
objection.
throw their money about at this woman that will never give a shit about them. Take it, please, please, please.
Bro, I seen the let's slamming the fucking credit card on the table, bro. I saw a screenshot of one of these girls. I think it was on like Twitter. Sometime she made one post where she gave a shout out to an anonymous user who had given her, I think it was 650 grand or something. Like, and I was like, that's a house in Miami. That's like a duplex somewhere. That's a life saving. That's a fortune. That's your mom retired, bro. That's your brother's mortgage paid off. That's 5,000 kids fed hot meals for a few months in Africa. That is life-changing money.
Yeah.
And you gave it to like an e-thought.
Hey, but this is the thing.
I'm lost for words. Like, I'm speechless.
This is the beautiful thing about the game too. At the same time, there's a saying that says, "In order for a pimp to live, a trick gotta give." Right. So it's like.
By the way, that money is going to a man too. She's not working alone. Like they think these girls are working alone. No.
If you learn to get rid of that shame for women for doing these certain things and benefiting, it's like women will use the lower tier men, they'll use the beta men, right? They'll get their resources just to split it with the guys who they actually like, just to expand on the idea and concept that you don't need money to fuck with women. You don't need money to have a woman obsessed and in love with you. She'll get it. She'll get it from the guy she doesn't care about and share it with you. If you truly make her feel a certain way, if you can create certain emotions and evoke certain emotions in a woman, it doesn't matter what you have. She'll make excuses, like they'll make rules and break rules for others. She'll break rules for you. Yeah, he doesn't really have a job right now. He's not really making much, but the way he makes me feel,
bro, it's all about the feelings. Honestly, if you can make a woman feel things, bro, that's all it is. Like the guys, it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how good you look. If you don't emotionally stimulate her, she will feel nothing for you, because we have to remember attraction is not voluntary. Like you don't choose what you're attracted to. This is something really important. Like gay people like you don't choose what you like. You just like those things for environmental and biological reasons. So instead of trying to just constantly somehow work against that, work for it. Like realize what it actually is. And don't try to reinvent the wheel here. Like we have known, if we were actually being honest, for a very long time what it is that women want. And by the way, all these answers are obvious. Like I hear this being such a puzzle for guys. Should you be strong or weak? Should you be healthy or unhealthy? Should you be awkward or charismatic? Should you be rich or should you be poor, ideally? Should you be homeless or should you have a nice place that she can come to whenever she wants? Like, should you make her feel excited or bored? Like, when you frame it like that, it's all obvious. And you could list those qualities, but they don't want to. They hide behind ignorance. They hide behind ignorance.
Now, understanding that men, these weak men, right, are part of this ecosystem. It's a strange thing because the reason why, bro, the reason why the reason why she treats me so well, and the reason why she idolizes me and looks at me like a god is because of how many weak ass men there are on this planet that roam this earth. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true. That's 100%
it's kind of like if every man was as player as me, it's like I wouldn't be as player as me, if that makes sense. You know
it's the contrast. Like what
so
she's used to versus what she's getting. Yeah.
So it's a kind of strange thing to talk about. Like we can give game to a singular person, or we can give as much game as possible to all the men that are out here moving incorrectly, funding these women's OnlyFans dreams, and not moving with solid character, but it's like they're a part of that ecosystem. Now, is this really a bad thing that they're this ecosystem, that they're that part of the ecosystem, or is it not?
Bro,
Would the
that's
world
a very
really be a
fascinating
better
question.
place
Yeah.
if all men moved the way that we moved? Would it really be a better place?
Bro, I actually,
Society
now
would
that you
collapse.
mention it, that is something I've thought about. Like, I have thought about that because it is the contrast. Value is given by rarity.
Yes.
So if everybody has a certain currency, it's not worth anything. If everybody had a six-pack, it wouldn't be nothing to celebrate.
Exactly.
The things that make you special are the things that make you rare. So I actually think now, man, I would not be the guy I am if if everybody just all of a sudden was like this. But I'm telling, like, the bar is in hell, so it really is not that
So
hard
easy.
for us to really exceed that bar. I've any single guy that I've had really up his game and truly get the kind of frame that is ideal with a woman. They always say, like, oh, no one has ever made me feel like this. Oh, no guy has ever been with me like this.
And I ain't even did shit yet. I ain't even
Bro,
really.
yeah, exactly. Like you haven't
even
seen
been in my
nothing. We're at
bag
10%.
yet.
We're at 10%, and well, that's the reaction you have. Like a lot of
Yeah.
girls, they know this intuitively. They're like, "Oh, you're the first man I've ever been with. I've had boyfriends. You're the first man I've ever been with."
Mm.
It's entirely fucking different, bro. And the girls know it more than us.
And you're 20 years old, bro. Jesus.
Yes, 20 years, bro. 2
Fucking
years in the
brilliant.
game, you could say.
This is it's been a little over 3 hours. This has
It has been a little, but I didn't even notice that until you
Yeah.
mentioned it. I haven't been looking at the timer, man. Kenny has been spitting some absolute wisdom. Brad, you've had I mean, you do your thing. You can talk about anything forever and make it sound interesting. So I've just been having a great time with you guys.
This has been.
I need y'all boys to slide April 4th. April
God,
4th.
we need to meet up in Florida, boys. I have a
Come
crazy
on,
idea.
man.
Part 2 of this episode
Is in person.
Florida, in person. You read my mind. In person, Florida, part 2 of this episode. We need to make that fucking happen. Absolutely,
100%.
bro. The girl who
100%.
is currently at my place is nodding her head profusely. Yeah, we need to make this happen, dude.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys so much. This has been an exceptional conversation. Obviously, we could sit on here for another 10 hours and we wouldn't get bored. I don't think the people watching would get bored.
Yeah.
And we'll 100% do this again, and I'm sure we'll do it more than once again.
I trust that. Absolutely.
What are like some final things you guys want to say, like where people could check out your stuff and anything new that's coming up?
Yeah, for me, number one, thank you for all of my friends who were spamming stuff in the chat this whole time. They started having conversations and stuff like on their own, talking about stuff that happened back in high school. No, I want to say thank you to everyone who checked in from all of my social media, and everything that you can find from me is just at Nilo Backman. That's my social media everywhere. My biggest one is X. You can check out my stuff there. And everybody who is watching this live, also, I want to extend to you the opportunity now to hear about the new program that I have coming up. It's not released anywhere yet. It's coming out in about a week, but there will be sort of like a first launch sale, you could say. There's going to be a big discount for the guys that want to get that. And there'll be some more information coming very soon. So if anything that relates to the things that we've been talking about, and moreover, I would say destroying the old version of yourself and building up the new one, overcoming those barriers that you have to any of these things, and maybe finally for once in your fucking life feeling like your mind is on your side instead of constantly working against you, then that's going to be fascinating for you. So I'm looking forward to connecting with all of you guys on that. And thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Hey, man, it was
Brilliant.
nice meeting you, my guy. First time having a real conversation. We got to do this again, bro.
Bro, we do.
I know, Brad, y'all on the fence, but the invite is there, man. We got plenty of space, bro, in the B&B. If y'all, I know it's like short notice, April 4th, if y'all did want to pop out. But yeah, man, I'm Ken Liddy. You can find me on TikTok, Ken Liddy. Instagram, Ken Liddy Gems. I am doing one-on-one consultations right now. If you need some advice, any tailored advice to your specific situation, you just want a little bit of extra game, I do have a plethora of information and wisdom on my pages, YouTube as well. I have one page, which is more like my vlogging page, which is Ken Liddy. And then I really spit my knowledge and wisdom more so on the Ken Liddy Gems YouTube channel as well. I do have a coaching program coming very soon. And of course, we calling it bitch block right now. Some people have writer's block. You know, we got.
No, I need your ideas, bro. Your marketing team, bro. Plug that contract for me. I need this shit. I need this.
Hey,
Even I'm not that creative, bro. I need that.
So yeah, man. Some people get writer's block. They don't know what to say, what to write about. Hey, if you get in bitch block, you get yourself in front of a girl, you're not knowing what to say. You kind of find yourself in that place where you don't know where to take the certain conversation. You don't know how to create that seductive space that is not a recipe for a friend zone conversation. We got a course coming soon for you as well. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the plethora of knowledge and wisdom that was given on this podcast. It should have been paid. Should have been on Patreon.
Bro, we should have made it paid. And by the way, I want to give a final shout out to everybody who is watching this, wherever this is posted. It's most likely that you're going to be watching this either on one of Bradley's channels or somewhere where this is going to be linked in the description. Check out Bradley Glantz. And if you're not already in his community, I'm sorry you're late to the chase, but there's still time to join. So join that shit immediately. Yes. This guy has been my friend for a long time now. There is none like him when it comes to the content game and dropping knowledge like this. Check out the stuff that he has posted before. It is unparalleled, and you will not regret knowing him. So, yeah, thank you, Bradley, once again.
I appreciate you guys, and yeah, guys, go check out Kenny's and Nilo's stuff. They're exceptional individuals, as you already know from hearing less than a sentence come out of their mouth. And we'll see you guys soon. Peace out.
Thank you.